The Department of Homeland Security is buying a pair of private jets for Secretary Kristi Noem's travels as she represents Donald Trump's immigration enforcement efforts across the country. The two jets will cost between $172 million and $200 million. To save money, one jet will only be used to take Noem to her destinations, and the other jet will only be used to bring her back. The United States warned Saturday that Hamas was planning attacks against Palestinians in Gaza that would violate the terms of the ceasefire already under stress from strikes Israel has carried out against militants. To avoid violating the ceasefire, Hamas will carry out unplanned attacks. Former Representative George Santos, Republican from New York, was released from federal prison after Donald Trump commuted Santos's sentence. Santos, 37, was less than 3 months into serving a 7-year sentence in federal prison after being convicted of wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. To show his appreciation to Trump, Santos will kiss the spots on Trump's ass that the rest of the cabinet has missed. This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for October 20th, 2025. Join me live at the Church of Last Resort, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on MindDog TV.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
No coffee for you. Coffee is for closers. Oh, I got coffee. Very expensive coffee. Not mine though.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Mind Dog is your mind's best friend.
Sound like a little hitch glitch.
Mind Dog is your mind's best friend.
How about a boom boom boom?
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Yeah. I make you laugh. All right. See that one. You know what? I think I need a little more color here. I'm sorry. Yeah, a little more color. A little more orangey, brown, whatever I am. Good morning, folks. We'll see if that thing shuts off on its own, or if it will let me down and go boom, boom, boom. It will shut off on its own. Good morning, folks. It is Monday, your favorite day of the week, October 20th, 2025. This is our 1000th episode. What does that mean? Well, that means we've done 1,000 shows on this stuff. Obviously, that's kind of an accomplishment. I don't know what we've really accomplished other than quantity over quality. Anyway, as usual, I haven't done a shit poor job of planning anything here. I will say that our guest of honor today will be Jackie the Joke Man Martling, who I've been wanting to talk to for some time now. I don't remember all the things I wanted to talk to him about, but one of the things is something that GD mentioned about a week ago about Mel Brooks mentioning Jackie in some monologue somewhere. Anyway, he will be here. We will be putting the link. I don't know where we're putting the link, to be honest with you. If you want to join us, send me a DM somewhere, somewhere, somehow on Facebook or Twitter or Fartbook or Farcebook or Shitter, any one of those, even Instagram. And I'll try to connect you with a link where you can join us and say hello to Jackie once Jackie is here. Jackie asked me how he should promote this show, and I said, I don't know, 1,000 episodes celebrating with 1,000 dick jokes. That would sound like a challenge, but I think he's up for that challenge to actually accommodate us with 1,000 dick jokes. So maybe that's a bad idea, because I don't know if we're in the mood for 1,000 dick jokes. Anyway, we'll try to not to talk about things that I know Jackie hates, which are politics. We'll try not to talk about that, or some of the feuds between some of his friends. Jackie likes to stay out of this stuff, but some of the feuds are I don't know, they're in the spotlight if you pay attention to these kind of things. People who still obsessing on radio days from almost 30 years ago now. Definitely from 20 years plus. And they don't let it go. So you know who I'm talking about. The radio people. Anyway, he doesn't want to talk about that, but I am curious about what's going on with his friends, because he's friends with all these people. When there are differences between Jackie's friends, he asks about it privately, but he never will comment on it publicly. So I'm not going to ask him about it, but I would like to talk to him about it and find out what's up with this. Oh, look, we got bots already for our 1,000 bot, more than 1,000 bot interruptions here. We won't pay any attention to that. That's on Kick. I don't know if we have anybody on Kick. But you know what? No, we don't have anybody on Rumble today, because somebody with a bald head and round rimmed glasses and a not so dark mustache today must have screwed up the link. Anyway, I want to play a commercial. Why? Because I need a minute to bring GD into the program. And then once we do that, we'll hear good morning and something about an advent calendar and a shutdown and with politics that we don't really want to talk about. So grab yourself some Mind Bloom and get ready for this.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians,
I don't know.
Coaches, we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now is the aforementioned GD, who is getting ready to tell us about some kind of shutdown days that we're in and when it's going to end and what the gift is inside the calendar that may or may not exist. Good morning, GD.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. It's day 20 of our Coffee with the Dog government shutdown advent calendar. And what do we have today? Why, let's see. It's the official Coffee with the Dog. No, thank you, ICE. I've got my own zip ties.
Wow.
Never get zip tied by ICE again. Just tell ICE that you're already in custody and you're just on a break.
That might work.
Get your Coffee with the Dog government shutdown advent calendar while the shutdown and supplies last.
Right.
Support your local mercenaries and enjoy the suffering.
Did you say it was day 20? Today's day 20?
Day 20.
Is there an end in sight? And is it ever going to get resolved? No, right? No.
There is an end in sight. Unfortunately, there are feet that are stuck in the ends.
Oh.
Yeah, they're kicking the ends. They're kicking. It's rough. It's rough.
Sunshine says I brought joy and thank you for the congratulations. Says I brought joy and sorrow to many, not just me, but you too. But
yeah, but not for 1,000 episodes. I've only been here for like 4 or 5.
I think 400 was a fair estimate, right? Somewhere in there.
Wow,
400.
Really? You think I've done that much?
Maybe.
Damn.
It's been like 3 years, right? Or 2 years?
I don't know. I don't know. I only remember that I used to bulbs in the front yard.
When you first came on, you didn't think I should write this down because soon someday we're going to hit 1,000 episodes, and I want to know how many. You didn't have the foresight to write that down.
No, my foresight, my foreskin are both gone.
Yes. I never thought I'd see 1,000 episodes of this. Now, for people who might be confused, yes, there's probably 2,200 of the Mind Dog TV podcast, which I now only do once a week on Wednesday nights. So this is not that. So altogether, I've done 3,300 or so around.
So eventually, Coffee with the Dog, if you kept going at this ratio, could catch.
It should pass it within 5 years. It definitely should pass it, surpass it, pass it. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing that. I mean, I just kept doing that because I knew some serious people don't want to come on a morning show. And first of all, it's too early for a lot of people on the West Coast. But people who take themselves very seriously don't want to be associated with this.
Or people who don't have a sense of humor.
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
People who take themselves seriously don't have a sense of humor. I mean, what's there to take seriously? Is there anything to take seriously? By the way, we are planning on the No Podcasters March this Saturday. George Soros is working on No Podcasters. Good morning, Craig. Thank you on the congratulations on 1,000. I don't know what. There's nothing really. Nothing was accomplished by that. And speaking of nothing being accomplished, and I know I said we're going to try not to talk about politics, but the march, whatever that was, march, rally, whatever it was, No Kings, didn't really accomplish anything other than letting people who feel frustrated know that they're not alone. There are 7 million, whatever, people out there that agree with them. What are the numbers anyway? 7 million, is that fair?
I didn't check their final numbers, but in a way, what it does is it's allowing people to blow off steam before they, before it boils over into something really, really bad.
I could use a little steam. Maybe free heating. Blow off some steam. I don't know. Hold the steam.
Now you sound like the Pointer Sisters. I mean, steam heat. I got steam heat. No.
All right.
So some people don't know who the Pointer Sisters are.
Yeah.
Salt peanuts.
Yesterday, the Rev did something on a Black Sabbath song that I never heard.
After Forever? You never heard of After Forever?
Nope.
Wow.
And I also was shocked to learn that there was Christianity involved in Black Sabbath. Now, Ozzy converted at some point, but was he at any point like a Satanist or
No.
How did they get that?
They got it because of the name Black Sabbath and the type of music that they played and the imagery.
Black people are not supposed to take off on Sunday?
No, well, the Black Sabbath isn't on Sunday. See, the Black Sabbath is actually Tuesday through Friday. So I don't know when it is.
It's all week long.
It's the rest of the week.
That's just a racist thing to say, and I'm glad you said it because now I want to repeat it. So, and that was long before I think all that stuff about biting the heads off of birds and stuff, or bats, or whatever the fuck it was. That was all like.
But that was an accident. If I understand it correctly, I
can't tell you how many times I accidentally bit the head off an animal.
This is what I was told. This is what Ozzy told me. Okay, that they had. No, he said this is what he said to me, that occasionally they would throw him a prop animal for him to bite. And so when he saw the bat, he thought it was one of the props that they would occasionally throw up for him to bite or throw up. And so he thought it was the prop, and he bit the prop, and he realized it was something was really, really bad, but he didn't want to stop the show because of it. He's a professional.
All right, we're having problems on Rumble. I would like to fix. Can you talk for 1 minute while I try to do this?
Sure.
Just talk to the people. Tell them something.
Sure, I'll talk to the people.
People.
Last night, I'm doing a show in November. I'm headlining a show in November at Hanover.
Church of Satire? Oh,
yeah, Church of Satire in Hanover. And I know a lot of people can't make it to that place. And if you could make it, it only holds like 70 people 70 people. So you can watch it being streamed live on plausible.com, $5 per device. But the reason why I mention this is because I finally have what I think is the final version of my script for that thing. And I started listening to it last night. And what I do is I record it and I listen to it over and over and over again, which I'm not sure is a good thing or not. But I listened to it maybe 6 times yesterday while I was, about 6 times I listened to it. And by the 4th time, I started thinking to myself, this isn't funny. And I do this every single time. I start off listening to it and it goes like, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. And by the 6th time, I'm going, this isn't funny. Who's going to laugh at this? And the problem is I've listened to it too much. But I do this every single time. I listen to it over and over and over and over and over again until it's not funny to me anymore.
Honestly, I think I might be able to get a guy who might be able to give you some feedback on what's funny and what's not. I can't remember his number right now, but I can get you in touch with him. You can let him listen to it and give you some preview on how you should set stuff up and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
He's kind of
him there.
He's a little short-sighted, or I don't know. Legally blind, I guess.
For a second, at first I thought you were just talking about the guy who told me that if I knew anything about comedy.
Oh well, if you didn't know anything about comedy, you wouldn't be here right now. I
can't even remember. I don't remember what the rest of that sentence was because I was laughing so hard when he said to me, "If you knew anything about comedy." I don't remember.
This is from a guy who. Listen, we shouldn't be bashing people on.
I'm not bashing people.
I was about to say, but it's like a guy who's never played a real gig in his life giving out advice on how to be a professional. It's just it doesn't make any. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say I can't hook up this Rumble thing because StreamYard is fucking with me a little bit. Why don't we say hello to our guest of honor this morning? Our guest of honor is, I'm proud to call him a friend, and he's probably going to say, I'm not your friend. But he's one of the most prolific, and he's got a history of comedy that goes back. Oh, before you were born, folks. Before most of you were born. He's one of the funniest people alive, and I say that in all sincerity, which I don't often say things in all sincerity. Our friend, Jackie the Joke Man Martling. Good morning, Jackie.
Who is this?
Who is it? You.
Who am I talking to?
Oh, I'm Matt Napo, a.k.a. the Mind Dog. I
thought I called Opie. This is Opie?
I
did not. You called Opie and got dopey.
It's Mike from Boston.
Hi, GD. How are you guys doing? Happy 1000th birthday or whatever it is.
Of all the, and not to blow smoke up your ass already, but of all the, you've had so much in show business to talk about, and so many great moments in show business. But one thing I don't think you've ever told me about, or if you did, I forgot. I learned from GD last week that Mel Brooks in what was it, like a award show?
He had a special called Live at the Geffen, Geffen.
Oh yeah, Live at the Geffen, and he mentioned you right in his opening little bit there.
GD sent me that in a text or something. I didn't even pay that. I thought you were fooling around.
Mel Brooks, and you're on the top of his mind when he comes to Jackie's comedy.
I'm sure you read that wrong. Where did you see this? I would have heard.
The thing is, it was so in passing. He was setting up something about himself, and he was talking about some of the comedians that were playing like either Poconos or the Catskills or something like that. It was one of these places where every comedian in the world has plays there. And he goes, and every so and so was there, and every Jackie was there, and he goes Jackie Dead, Jackie Martin, and then he goes, and all the Jackies, he says, and everybody had an opening theme song, and he says like, and all the Jackies had this opening theme song that said, "My name is Jackie, I am wacky, blah blah blah," and then but he's doing all this just to set up his own song that he's to do to introduce himself. And so everything else was like throwaway lines, just because all he cared about was setting up.
I don't think he would have mentioned my name. I didn't play. I only did the Catskills I don't know, 5 times, maybe 10 times. But
Wow.
if that happened, I'm very flattered. But I think you heard him wrong.
That to me, I mean, and again, not to blow smoke up your ass, you've met everybody in show business. You've done so many things, stage and film and authored books. But to me, that is like, I would be ready to die when somebody mentions your name.
But I would like to think that somebody would have let me. Somebody must have heard that or seen that. No offense, GD, but what is it? That's 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or
no offense.
I gotta go look. Now that I know you're telling the truth, that you weren't just breaking balls, I will have a look.
Yeah, he I don't think he likes.
Yeah, you would know what your name sound like more than I do, but unless you would say, "Okay, I know."
There's a lot of Jackies, So,
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It could have been
especially up there,
Yeah, it could have been a Jackie Martin or something, but like I said, it was just a throwaway line. He said it so fast.
Who was the guy who played the snowman, did the voice for the snowman? That was a Jackie, right? Jackie Coogan? No.
Jackie Vernon?
Yeah, that's who it was, who did the Frosty the Snowman voice. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, because, All
right, let's drop it. Mel Brooks is my best friend. Next topic.
Did you ever meet him, really?
No, and I've always wanted to so badly. And my friend Toby has worked with him, and Mel Brooks is one of his collaborators. This wonderful woman just passed away last week.
Wow.
And she was one of the co-writers of the producers, and never got credit for it until about 10 years ago.
Wow.
It was her concept, the dancing around the fountain at Lincoln Center, which was like the highlight of the,
Yeah.
But enough about death.
Yeah, enough about that. Now, you going? Where the hell are you going? Florida, like somewhere in Florida this weekend?
I got back yesterday.
Oh.
Sometimes things work out. I was going down there, and I'm, a huge Billy Joel fan, and I love the guys in the band. And have you ever been to see the Lords of 52nd Street?
Yeah. Yeah, I had Liberty on right before he did a show here on Long Island at the Paramount, and then went to see him that weekend.
Yeah, well, they're great. And I look, and what are the odds that they were working in Clearwater on Friday, and I was working there on Saturday. So I called Andrew, their road guy, and said, "Hey, can I come with a couple of friends?" He said, "Sure." So I went and saw, that never lines up like that. I went to see him, and Russell and Liberty were thrilled to see me. And I was like, it made the trip so much, made it special, and they were great. They're always great.
Wow. I'm going to use
Liberty is 75, and he's, and he's just still wailing like a mother,
Yeah, I've been trying to get Russell on the show for like 4 years right now. I had no problem getting Liberty on, and I think I could probably get Liberty again because, we had some people in common, friends in common. But Russell, I'm going to use your name now. Oh, Jackie also.
Absolutely use my name.
Right. You know what?
Can I use your name too? I want to use your name.
No. Anybody.
The lovely Chrissy is saying hello to you, Jackie, from wherever the hell she is in Northern Europe, in the frozen tundra of Northern Europe. Our beautiful friend Chrissy.
Yeah. California says hi too.
Snake Lady.
Yeah.
Is that Chrissy?
Lady. Snake Lady, that's who she is.
She has more than just snakes.
I think Lizard Lady is more proper.
Oh, all right, but I mean that's the girl with the
Denmark.
I'm mad for her. I wanted to come there, and she stopped talking to me.
Oh yeah. I bet you. You know what? She gets a lot of fake celebrities hitting on her. Like on Facebook, there's so many. I think a fake Brad Pitt hit on her the other day.
I think it's because if you look at her, she resembles Debbie Reynolds in my mind. I think she looks like Debbie Reynolds.
I think she's just downright cute. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, well, Debbie Reynolds, I guess, but in some way,
She looks like one of those classic blondes from the 50s. Just beautiful.
Yeah. Want to say hello to our friend Carl Mann, who's been with me from the start. Let's say hello to Carl Mann. Good morning.
Good
Carl.
evening. Good evening. How are we doing? Jackie, how are we doing?
Hello, old boy. How are you?
Yeah, good. Happy 1000th Hanukkah, whatever this is.
Yeah, Hanukkah. It's 1000 Hanukkah. What is that? Is that like what English money? What the fuck is that behind?
English. Whoa, look at the eyes.
This is one of the territories they took over.
No, I believe this is at 1,000 yen.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
who are we looking at? Who is that character?
I wouldn't like to say. I don't know. Well, I'll have to look it up.
It's
the
Bank of
Chinese
Japan.
guy.
No, it's from the Bank of Japan, so I wouldn't think he was Chinese.
You never know.
We are pulling every Asian.
Korea.
We're playing every Asian racist card we got on the Asians here today.
To quote the fabulous Otto from Otto and George, I don't even think they know the fucking difference.
All right, get me straight on this because I always fuck it up. Which one was George and which one was Otto? The guy with the puppet.
The puppet was George.
The puppet was George. You know, he played, Ralphie, who you've been to his house. He used to have this club in Kings Park, the old Upper Dock. And somebody drove George all the way from New Jersey to play that club. And Ralphie asked him, tone it down on the racism stuff. Because he was known to, like, do some racist jokes. And, oh, yeah, sure. I'll behave. And the first thing out of his mouth was, who brought the fucking nigger?
No, I never heard Otto say that word.
Oh yeah, right from the front. I taped it. I was taping it for Cablevision. I was like, I got to cut that out now. But yeah, he opened up with that. Like, wow, And the thing was, and he starts with, yes, yeah, being so nice. Sure, I'll behave myself. And as soon as he's announced, he goes right, like, fuck you. I don't care what I just said to you. I'm gonna be.
He's just a wonderful character, and
yeah.
And he didn't need to say that.
It wasn't him. It was the puppet.
It wasn't him.
Yeah.
Matt, just speaking of whatever you're just speaking of, I don't care. I just want to say this. Tony Walker is in Govs. He said this happy 1000th show, and he says hi to everybody.
There already.
Hi, Tony.
Why is
Hello, Tony.
Tony,
Carl, where are you? Are you in Great Britain right now? Or are you?
I'm in the greatest Britain of all. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
That technology makes me nuts. I love it. Wow.
Yeah.
It is. It's the phone, the internal combustion engine, and I can check in on the former colony.
How many times has Mel Brooks mentioned you, Carl? Ever?
Well, I've got to go back to
remember. Wow.
Too many to remember. I'm going to storm the set of Spaceballs 2 to try and get a shout out.
Jeez.
So are the people in Britain laughing at us with this with these I don't know, parades and stuff that we're or marches?
No, they have their own No Kings parades.
Well, I don't know.
We get protests here every week on all kinds of stuff. This Hideo Noguchi, I just did the way you pronounce it. He discovered the agent of syphilis.
Ooh.
So,
wow.
And they put him on the 1,000 yen bill for that.
That's how much it was a dose for the cure.
Wow. I was the East Coast distributor.
Yeah.
we've got our own protests and stuff going on all the time every week here. So it's all nice.
You know what? East Coast distributor, but you've gone out west plenty of times, right? You've done Vegas on a lot. Did you ever do the California, Jackie? I'm talking to. Did you ever do the California, like the comedy store, and
No, I did a couple of clubs up in Walnut Creek, and I did the Ice House, and a guy flew me out there to work a naval base outside of Reno, and I did Walnut Creek, and I did the Ice. I did a few, and then I did a couple of, like I did a Red Fox movie in Vegas. Los Angeles, and but I never worked the Comedy Store or any of those. Never even hardly. I only showed up at the Improv to take a peek a couple times. I was never out there. I did. If I was out there, I was out there and right back because I was so busy working for $50 a night. You got to work a lot of nights to have that pile up.
Yeah. I can't remember the guy's name now. The guy who was the Laugh Factory guy who used to come on. He had like
Jamie. Jamie's a good guy. Yeah.
I'm surprised that you never played that kind of that circuit, at least at somewhat back in the day. I mean, especially I know when Howard first went on in LA, it was a big thing out there and everybody loved the show. I'm surprised you didn't get like offers all the time to come out there.
Now, but there's so many comedians and everybody like at those places in LA were working towards an end, and I wasn't that good. I was on the Greatest Radio Show, but I'm not a great comic. But I could, I could kick ass in Vegas and whatever. We had such a great time, going out to LA and doing the rallies and all the craziness. That was, and those rallies, that was more insane than doing any kind of comedy club.
I had a friend. I still have a friend, Kevin Mazur, who was a photographer for the Rolling Stone, who went out there to cover the private part. Oh, you know Kevin?
I can't say I know him. I probably haven't seen him in 20 years, but I knew him because he always showed up at all the Stern Show things and all the movie openings I ever went to. Yeah, I got to know him fairly well. Like, hello, hey, how you doing, old man?
Yeah,
he's been around forever.
Yeah, I've known him since he was 5 years old. 6 years old.
Really,
like
he's a top guy and a really nice guy too.
Yeah. But when we were out there I was out there at the same time Private Parts was premiering, and he was out there covering it. And he said he was swamped by all the people on Howard, the premiere of Private Parts. It might have been like the Gone with the Wind. Had such a buzz out in LA, and I'm surprised because Howard is a New York guy, and New York and LA don't necessarily have the same sensibilities. I was surprised to find out he was that huge out there, and the show was that huge out there.
Did I ever bore you with my story about that?
No. What
the premiere was at
Billboard.
What's the Chinese theater? What's
Grauman's, yeah.
Grauman's Chinese Theater. It was a whole big deal, and we had a monstrous rally on the corner of Hollywood and Vine, and me and Howard and I might be mixing up too. No, there was one trip we went out there for when we became #1 in LA. That was monstrous, and that on the stage we had the Turtles and the Jefferson Airplane and Jessica Hahn topless, and it was insane. But the Private Parts premiere was incredible at Grauman's, and it was the buzz of the weekend. And the celebrities and stuff out there were all monstrous fans. So there's a place. What was the bar? The Sky Bar. Did you ever hear that?
No.
It was
I
the
mean,
Red
I've
Hot
heard of
place.
it, but I don't remember it.
It was the Red Hot place at the time, and it was like an upper deck. You had to be a little special to get into the upper deck. It was kind of half outside, and me and Gary and John went there, but I think we were with our wives, and we went upstairs, and next thing I know, me and Stuttering John, this is such a show business story, me and Stuttering John and Boy Gary are standing there talking to Dean Cain, John Stamos, and George Clooney. And it's a conversation like I died and went to heaven. And we're having great laughs. We're breaking balls. We're getting drunk. And there was a stairway coming up. It wasn't too wide, but to get to the upper thing, you had to come up that stairway. So next thing you know, a few minutes later, George Clooney and Dean Cain make their way over to the top of the stairs because they're all beautiful women. And they're hitting on every girl that's coming up the stairs. And John Stamos looks over at them and he turns back to the three of us and he goes, Look at that. Those poor broads, they can't make up their mind. Superman or Batman? Superman or Batman? And I was like, only in Hollywood could that pot, because at the time, Clooney was Batman and Dean Cain was Superman. It was like, holy Christ, what a show business,
you know what? That same night, at the premiere of Private Parts, I was at the House of Blues in the VIP lounge up on top of that, and James Coburn was there, standing next to me, and Short Frank, who was with me, goes, "Don't look now, but in like Flint wants to talk to you." And I turn in, I look over, and James Coburn says, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hey, Jim." Like, he must think I'm somebody else. And Short Frank is saying, he thinks you're Bruce Willis. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And Ralphie comes over and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Coburn, can I take a picture?" He's like, "I'm not right now. I'm busy." And he's talking to me now. He's telling me he's dropping off a script for the bartender who wants him to be in a movie or whatever. And he's having a conversation with me, and I'm like, I don't know how to fucking reply to James Coburn. Like, I can't make small talk with somebody I grew up watching his movies, Derek Flint.
So that's great.
So
fun.
we're on that. They have that other staircase because this is the VIP lounge, like you mentioned, like at the other place where you have to go down this long spiral staircase to get down to the street, down from the hill. And we're standing out there, and James Coburn walks by, and Ralphie goes, hey, Mr. Coburn, please, just one picture. And Coburn turns to me and goes, "Hey, Bruce, would you take a picture with this guy?" So then we go to the House of Blues, or not the House of Blues, Billboard on Sunset, where they're having the after party for Private Parts, and Slash is on stage. And Slash says to me, "Hey, Bruce, did you bring your harps with you?"
Now, did you don't look like Bruce, or did you?
I know. That's the odd part of this. I don't look anything like Bruce Willis except for this. From here up, I look like Bruce Willis.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's just bizarre.
Matt, maybe from here up and from like here down,
Yeah. Yeah. Or now I talk a lot.
Like Bruce Willis now.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just avoiding that.
Yeah. I said in the opening I was going to try to avoid things that you don't want to talk about. I know you don't like to talk about. You don't like to get in between your friends when they're fighting. And you brought up, I thought I was talking to Opie. Have you seen?
I don't know. I don't know anybody's relationship with anybody. Just recently on Twitter, I saw Opie and Anthony going at it a little bit. And I just want to go over and say, guys, get in the same room and give each other a hug. But I'm sure they're both, everybody's always just trying to, shake up some dust to get some attention. So,
they need somebody like you to be their Frank Sinatra, Frank Sinatra to bring Dean Martin onto the telethon and say, you guys hug it out and make friends. 20 years is all.
The difference is, Jack, okay, we know that Frankie Sinatra, like I knew him very well, could have people whacked. I don't know that Jackie can have people whacked. He can't just say, "Look,
what are you talking about? What do you know about me? What do you know about me?"
Yeah.
Because I haven't been whacked unless you don't think I'm worth the bullets.
Getting recognized is such a funny thing. Like 1991 or something, right after, once the E! Show hit, people, they always knew what Howard looked like, and eventually after a year or two got to know what Robin looked like. But once the E! Show hit, Long Island always knew me, but now finally, the whole world is seeing who else is on the show and stuff. And at the Westbury Music Fair is right down, it's 7 miles, but it's down the street. So when people performed at Westbury Music Fair, they very often stayed at Rothman's in East Norwich, which is the Burt Bacharach Motor Inn, because it was a decent place and it was far enough away. So, my mother one time said, "Oh, Bob Hope came walking by this morning." And we thought, "Oh boy, Mom's lost it." But it turned out he really had. He was going for a walk with his dog, because it's like 100, 200 yards away. So after we started getting known a little bit, there was a Howard Johnson's right near Burt Bacharach's there. And me and my wife, Nancy, were sitting there at a two-top in Howard Johnson's eating lunch or something. And this little old lady, not little, probably 50-year-old, Long Island broad, comes over and leans over to the table, and right in my face, she goes, "Can I ask you who you are?" And I was like, kind of, at this point, I'm like, wow, I'm getting recognized, pretty cool. And I said, I'm Jackie Martling. And she turned, and her mouth was still in my ear, and she turned to her friend and said, "It's not him."
Who did she think you were?
I still don't know. Nancy fell off her
Mel
chair.
Brooks.
She thought that was so great. Oh, I felt like so.
She thought you were Bruce Willis.
I wish I had the presence of mind to say, "Who the hell did?" She said, "I thought you were Matt Napo."
Well, Craig Johnson fact checking us on the yen thing, the Y note, the 1,000 yen note. Baron Katsuoka was a Japanese physician and bacteriologist. He is remembered as the co-discoverer of the infectious agent bubonic plague in Hong Kong, not syphilis. So, fact checking.
Listen, blame Google though.
All right. Maybe he got syphilis too. Maybe. Yeah.
Swan Beaver says hi.
Who?
Well, that's still. He did some good. He certainly did some good.
Yeah. I was up by your house the other night. I was doing doing a paint party up there. You know what? I don't know if you know this. Long Island is turning into a private community city, like these little cities that banks and stuff are buying up all this real estate, wiping out all the houses and building all these luxury apartment complexes where people pay like $5,000 a month rent for a 1-bedroom apartment stuff. And then in their house, in their apartment, they have everything they'll ever want, including like not just a pool and gym and all that stuff, but a theater and a bar and all this kind of stuff. And it's a venue that nobody is taking advantage of and booking stuff.
Now, where are you talking about? In Glen Cove?
Well, I went to Glen Cove, but the route I took me past where you live.
But where were you? Aria or
what is this called?
Southwoods or
Harbor Landing in Glen Cove. It's
wow, that's right on the water. That's a high end group.
Yeah. And but so I said to the lady, "Do you ever do comedy or music out here?" The lady who was booking the paint party stuff. She said, "What do you have in mind?" And I said, "Well, I have lots of comedian friends. I do some music shows, and I booked a couple of shows right off the bat." And it's like, I talked to a couple of agents about this. I said, "You know what? Nobody knows about this yet. Be the first to get in on it." They were like, "Oh, blasé." I was like, "This would be a great opportunity."
Well, when the Villages thing started in Florida, and that was before it got, now it's like a city, but I could never get near there because they're like, oh, they don't want dirty jokes or dirty comedy. And meanwhile, that's what the old Jews from New York and the older people, they're the biggest fans of what I do.
Right.
But the booking agents, and I gave up 10 years ago, 15 years ago, because it's like a impenetrable wall. I was like, just let me in, let me up there for 2 seconds, and
It seems like they got lazy because all the booking agents, like I would have thought they would be thanking me, kissing my ass, and saying thank you so much for this. Because
the whole huge revenue stream, it's one phone call.
Right, and they got money to spend, and they obliged.
They not only have money to spend, right? They put the money in, so it's like a college. The money is there. It's like just a question of what they spend it on.
Yeah, So it's a great opportunity. I'm going to be reaching out to somebody. If you want, I don't know if I can. If they can make your price tag, but they can definitely make my price tag. And people want to reach. I'm going to be.
I have what you call a floating price tag. In other words, if the phone rings, I say yes, and then I answer it.
Yeah.
So
Well, that got me into trouble.
$50 a burger and 3 beers.
Wow.
There you go. And if I have to buy the beers myself,
you want cheese on that burger? Because that's going to be a little extra. You got to bring an opening act if I'm going to put cheese.
I got paid really, really well to go to it's a long ways to go for one show. That's why it was such a big deal to see the Billy Joel band. But they paid me, but I'm working at a place called Muggs Sports Bar and Grill. And I'm like, I've been doing this 50 years and I'm working at a bar and grill. But meanwhile, you're still getting paid well. But if people say, oh, where were you working? You know, House of Blues, where you working the Hard Rock? No, I was working Mugs Bar and Grill. You know, and you can't say, but they paid me good. They paid, you know.
Yeah, this is my career. Actually,
just say when you paid well, but you don't want to say the name of the place. Just say it was a private gig.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah. Have we talked to you since you did the Michigan thing, the screening of?
I don't know, but that was so great. That guy is such a good guy. Him and his wife are so nice. You know, it's first time I went to do a gig and we went to the zoo. Me and John and his wife Swan went to the zoo, and it was just such a pleasant time. And it was, maybe I didn't tell you, it was a screening like maybe 80 people or 100 people in this little theater. But, you know, the people are there to see my documentary. So I'm in heaven. And then we do a Q&A. And it was over an hour, you know, and just great stuff. And afterwards, I'm selling my books. And a guy came up to me. And I was like, holy Christ, Dave Friedrichs? A guy that I hadn't seen in 58 years. He was in my college dormitory at Michigan State. But he's a couple of years older. And I couldn't believe it. So he bought a book, and I just couldn't believe seeing this guy. He's a very successful businessman out in Ann Arbor. And then he texts me and he says, Jackie, I'm the hugest Theodore Roosevelt guy in the world. He said, I'm a member of the TR Association, and I'm friends with all them, and I go to all the meetings all over the country because my whole first chapter is about the Teddy Roosevelt connection. Right. And through him, I've met all these crazy, you know, I mean, I'm in the middle of Michigan getting turned on to the Theodore Roosevelt Association, which is a mile away. It just was crazy. Right. But it's so weird when you see somebody from that long ago, but it was the same guy. I mean.
Did you recognize him like just from his
face? Immediately. I immediately knew who it was. And I mean, I knew I was in Michigan, but Grand Rapids is a couple hours from where he was. He came all that way. But yeah, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of people that would come up that you'd have no idea who they were. And even if they said it, you wouldn't believe them, you know. Yeah. But he was absolutely him. And it was, you know. And
that makes me nervous because I wouldn't want people from my college years to recognize me right off the bat. I would, I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about that.
I think you would if you were performing.
Ridiculous. Yeah. You know what they did to me on the Stern Show? One April Fool's, they had a girl come in, and she said I was her father, and she was the right age, and it was, of course, it was a prank, but it was so possible.
Yeah.
You know, it was so possible that somebody could have got pregnant. You know, I don't know if I ever told you this. A good friend of mine, Randy Lang, unbelievable guitar player. I've known him, you know, he grew up in my same hometown, so I've known him since his first grade. And he lived in Amsterdam for a while. And then he left Amsterdam and toured around different places in Europe and came home. And then at one point he said, I was talking, and he said, Jackie, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. He said, one day, you know, the phone rang. I answered the phone and I said, hello. And the girl said, hello, whatever her name was. Hello, this is Annie. I don't know if you remember me, but I was your girlfriend for a while in Amsterdam. And Randy said, oh, yeah, wow. Wow. She said, no, but not Annie. She said, Annie was my mother. I'm Annie's daughter. And he goes, yeah. And she goes, well, Annie got pregnant by you and she had me. And he said, what are you talking? He said, well, you left town and then she found out she was pregnant. You were so young and she knew you were going places. And so he's talking to his daughter that he didn't know he had. And he's a little freaked out. And all of a sudden he hears, wah! And he says, what's that? She goes, oh, that's my daughter. So in the same within 20 seconds, he found out he had a daughter and a granddaughter in Amsterdam. And he said it was so. And meanwhile, you know, he went to visit them, and he has a relationship with them. But how crazy is that? I mean,
and then 20 minutes later, his bank account was attached for back to court.
I was thinking right after that, the Grim Reaper walked in, like father, grandfather. Yeah. It's over.
Yeah, you never know. There could have been a huge downside to it, but luckily there wasn't.
Well, good for
and he
him.
didn't do anything wrong. He didn't run out on her. He had no idea she was pregnant.
Right.
Yeah.
The
only thing was the baby was black, so he was a little suspicious.
Well, that could happen.
Of course it can happen.
I don't know. Stanhope's got a movie like that about like a comedian who his son shows up at his motel room door, and he's all grown up now and wants to get into comedy. And it's a kind of well, Carl, do you remember the name of that?
Road Dog. I still haven't seen it, but Road Dog.
Road Dog the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw it. There's a continuity.
That happened in real life. My wife, my ex-wife, my future ex-wife at the time, did an album, and she got this guy. There's a band that she wound up being friends with, and I was friends with because the drummer was a good friend. He produced some of her albums. In fact, the keyboard player in the band was Jed Lieber, whose father was Jerry Lieber for like Lieber and Stoller. So they had this ridiculous studio in LA and everything. But the guitar player was amazing. So she had him come and play a couple, play on a couple of songs of her newest CD. And he stayed with me a couple of days when he was doing it. And he was in the middle of being on the road with a 3-man group. And I guess it must have been a drummer or a keyboard or something, and him and another guitar player. And the other guitar player was David Crosby's son. And I don't remember. Do you remember the story where David Crosby, was it Melissa Manchester?
Melissa Etheridge?
Melissa Etheridge. They had a baby. She had a baby, and they gave it up for adoption. And I guess the rule is you can't really go looking for the kid, and the kid, like you could tell a neutral person that you'd like to find your child. And if the child decides he wants to find his parents, and they had both done that. And when he got hooked up, when the kid went to do it, he found out his father was David Crosby, but that's such a generic name.
Yeah.
He's like, no, that couldn't be. And the kid was a world-class guitar player himself and got hooked up with David Crosby. So they were, I don't know, was this 5 years, 10, 15 years ago, but they were playing around for a while. And then he was working with this guy, Steve. No, it's not really confusing. They had the baby.
For me, it is because she wanted to have a baby, but she was a lesbian, so she got David Crosby's sperm. But the part that she gave it up for adoption, why did you want to have a baby?
That's not. I know the facts are true. That the reasoning behind the whole thing,
Yeah.
I guess the lesbian's entitled to change her mind, but that's a little weird, It's certainly a little weird.
Who's the Titanium Man? Somebody wants to come in and say hello.
He was here this morning around 8:30.
Swantastic.
He's got no camera or microphone on, so he can't come in and say hello until.
There's Swan. Hi, Swan.
Yeah.
I love her.
Where are you seeing her?
I just
see
Swantastic.
Yeah,
yes, sir. The message you just brought up on screen.
Yeah. Want to say hello to this person, the Titanium Man. Who is this Titanium Man? Do we know?
I'll see him.
It's not Magneto. Magneto and Titanium Man.
That's the first thing I thought.
Good morning, Titanium Man. Who are you?
Don't crash, man.
You can't hear
If
it.
you're going to crash, do it live.
I got autopilot.
Oh. Who are you? State your name and where you're from.
It's Brandon, Ohio, and I just follow local comedians and local podcasts and check out their content and find things that are interesting and share them.
We appreciate you being here and I appreciate you sharing it. I don't know your age and it's hard to tell because of the angle here. You're familiar with Jackie from the Howard Stern Show, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, you grew up on that.
What's Titanium?
all my ligaments. I've been in 2 motorcycle wrecks, and I've got titanium in my arms, my legs.
And meanwhile, you're on a fucking podcast while you're driving.
Right.
You know, at some point,
Jonesing for some more titanium.
Yeah.
Well, you
that's
you
what
guys
I call
are the ones
pressing your luck. You're pressing your luck.
Listen.
All right. Where are you on your way to? Do you have a day job or something? Oh, we lost him already.
That's just his camera, right?
No, he's wrecked. He's getting some more parts. At this point, he's probably got more metal than his car.
Right. I think I don't know if we can hear him still. Brendan, you there?
No, the car's flipped now.
I muted. I'm just going to listen. I'm going to focus.
All right, we're taking you out because we don't want you to crash. Anyway, thank you for joining us for our 1,000th show. I wanted to give him an opportunity to plug his gigs or whatever, but we can't see him.
We can come back in and plug if he parks someplace.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jackie, what's next on your big hit parade? Are you you got something coming up?
I'm going to Pottstown to Soul Joel's. Soul Joel is a great character, and he's the guy who booked me in Clearwater. It was my second time down there.
Wait, there's a Soul Joel's in. Wait, this is not the one in Philly. This is in Florida.
Well, no, Pottstown, Pennsylvania. I guess it's outside of Philly, but it's a great little room, great crowds.
Once you find it, it's a great place.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, GD, it was a Saturday, November 8th. Everybody come out Saturday, November 8th. Then I'm doing Uncle Vinny's. You know Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club.
Yeah.
In South Point Pleasant. I'm doing
Dino?
that. Yeah, Dino. Friday the 14th of November. And then the 29th of November, I'm doing Catch a Rising Star at the Princeton Hyatt, which I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing better than doing a show in the hotel where you stand. An elevator gig, like the Riviera in Las Vegas or something like that. You get out of your room and come down the elevator and do the show. It's just, to me, that's just heavenly.
Conversely, that's one of these things that I fucking dig about the luxury apartment stuff is the crowd doesn't have to drive to the gig. They're really taking an elevator down to the show. And so they're really ready to have fun. They're home. But it's just an amazing kind of crowd experience when
they all want a very short show because they all want to go up and get laid. You know.
Yeah.
You know, they say the diseases there are just jumping out the windows because the old guys, you know, they spend all their pension money on Viagra, and I went down. A good friend of mine's mother married this ridiculously wealthy guy. He passed away, but he was like 95. But he invented the swimming pool, which sounds absurd. But what he did was he worked for a landscaper. And in the old days, they used to dig a huge hole and put up all the plywood or whatever and make a form and then pour in the concrete behind it. And he invented a way to spray paint concrete, and he made a gazillion dollars, and he was the nicest guy. And this guy had billions, and meanwhile I show up to see them because they booked me, and they lived in an old folks home or senior, whatever you call those homes, except it was incredibly high end. So it was like the Four Seasons, except everybody was on those little, those little go-karts or whatever.
That's my gigs, guy, man.
He had billions of dollars, and I walk into his room, and he had a little piece of paper with all the jokes he wanted to tell me. Everybody loves jokes. This guy he could buy America. Meanwhile, he wants to try and stump me with a joke. It was so cute. But the point was, I worked to about 80 of these people, and they were very, very old. I mean, he was 95. The average age not making a joke was like 80. But they were laughing their asses off. And I'm like, can I be responsible if somebody laughs so hard that they croak? I'm sure that has happened somewhere,
I think it had to. Yeah,
I killed him.
I'm pretty
Jackie,
sure.
Jackie, I was in Florida, and this elderly white man was in a wheelchair. knew I was a comedian. He goes, I got to tell you this joke. And I'm like, okay, go ahead. And he goes, there's this Negro fella. And
you say,
I thought to myself, okay,
you didn't happen to change it. You didn't change the lyrics to your story.
No, that's exactly what he said. There's this Negro fella. And I thought to myself, this better be one good fucking joke.
I like that.
A week ago or so, maybe a little bit longer than that, one of the listeners of the program wrote to me and sent me a link. He said, you got to check this out. And it was Jackie Martling, guest on The Dope Show, I think it was called. A couple of guys who do like is it The Dope Show, The Weed Show, something like that. Guys out of Denver. I'm just wondering how they.
They were great. They were great. They're dragging me to Las Vegas to the dope convention. The guys the guys I had related to along the way, when I first got on the Stern Show, that was a big show, and I was a huge pot advocate, and they made fun of me for it, of course. But that really helped to have somebody pro pot in that kind of position. And it was really weird because I was a member of the Friars Club. Plus, I was a pot advocate, which is the weirdest situation, But so all the potheads and the guy, so many potheads wound up being the guys with the farms and with the seas. The show, it's the Adam Dunn Show, and Adam is a huge guy in the pot industry. He was selling pot in Amsterdam for like 20 years, and he's developed strains that are named after him and all that stuff.
Yeah, he came up with like unique strains that he got awards for by the
he's great. And Dave, his guy Dave, who I met a couple times along the way, wanted me on the show. I said, well, of course I'll do the show, and we had a great time, just like doing this,
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I never know. Well, like I'm talking to you, I'm talking to him. I don't know if 4 people are watching this or 400,000. I have no way of knowing. I never know.
Well, according to this, there's quite a few people. Now, this is because I can't promo this stuff on iHeartRadio, but so there's no indication that this is 1,000 episode or anything special. According to this radio app right now, there are 7,233 listeners on iHeartRadio. I don't know why that. Usually it's around 1,200 or somewhere like that is the average. Got a lot of people over there today.
Now let me ask you, because I don't know. Does that mean that they're taping it? They're eventually going to listen to some of it, or does that mean that?
No, they have to. It's only live there. They don't archive it, so it's only live. It's for people, I guess, in their cars on their way to work or whatever.
If that's real, can all of those people donate $1 to me, please? I'll convert it to UK money, no problem.
Yeah, make test to see that they're not bots. Everybody write a email to jokeland@aol.com and tell them how much you love them today.
Say it slowly. JOKELAND@AOL.com. I always give out my email address, and I always get a couple. But you'd think at some point, sometimes you'd get like 20 or 100 or once in a blue moon, I'll get 15 or 20,
The issue with that is you can trace them back. The people want to put in the comments under like a bot name or like a troll name or whatever, so they don't have to be responsible for it, and then you can't write them back. That's people like that and to hide behind the cover of anonymity.
Well, I don't care about that. Write to me, insult me, and say your name is Jack Black. I don't care. Just I like communicating. I just heard from a girl a couple days ago who said, we used to come to see you when I was at CW Post College. And I said, whoa, people write to me on Messenger, and I don't use Messenger, but I just check it every couple of weeks and then see if there's anything interesting. Oh, we used to see you at CW Post. And I said, wow, tell me about it, because that fast. And she sent me a picture, and she says, this is me and you, but we're both wearing Groucho nose, with we look like you, with the glasses and the mustache and the nose. And the only giveaway is like I had my shoulder length hair, and she looked cute, but you couldn't tell. And she was so nice. And
What
she
you
said,
didn't know was that was her nose. She only added the mustache and glasses. That was her nose.
Why do you wait 40 or 50 years to say hello? You know, oh, I just found you, you know.
Wow.
So there's people all over out there, you know. So
just found you. I mean, you're not that hard to find. Most of the time, when I see somebody who has got some fame attached to them on social media, I think it's a imposter, somebody using their. And I get that a lot. I mean, just the other day, I had Eric Roberts, who I have had some communications with. I've had Eric on the show, but it was a fake Eric Roberts, you know, and I get that all the time with these. I have 15 jelly rolls. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you about. You know Frank Vignola, right? He played on your record, the Pot Song, right?
Oh, I love Frank.
Because there are 3 Franks on my friends
list.
Well,
no, there's a Frank Vignola that's a Long Island comedian.
There's filmmaker and guitarist. And it's like, are they the same
I didn't
person?
know that. Frank lives just north of the city, or at least he used to, and he had 5 kids, and he's just a ridiculous. When I met him, he was Les Paul's lead guitar player. So you can imagine, you know. I used to tell people that's like Dolly Parton's stand-in, you know. Yeah. and he was so great. And you know, my story with him is I would get up with Les Paul every couple of weeks, and Les loved me. He loved the filthy jokes, and his audience was always stupefied because they're there to see him, and you know, nobody knows he's a dirty old guy who loves dirty jokes. You know, they figure they're going to see an old jazz guy. And I'm up there telling filthy jokes. And after a couple of times, I went up to Frank. I didn't know those guys. And he was the lead guitar player. And I went up and said, listen, does it annoy you when I just come up there like a loudmouth and start telling these filthy jokes? He said, are you kidding? We love the energy burst that we look forward so much. I'm like, wow. And then like the next time I went up, I got a little balls here. I went up and said, listen, not for nothing, but do you smoke pot? And he said, are you kidding me? And I gave him an envelope. A huge envelope full of homegrown, and he loved it. And then I came up with that idea for that song a couple months later, and I recorded it. Like, the whole story is too long, but I recorded on my mini thing and did a little video, and I left him a message. Said, Frank, I either just wrote the world's greatest song or the world's worst song, and I'm gonna send you an MP3 of it. And he called me up and said, that's the funniest fucking thing I ever heard. And I got together with him and Joe, who since has passed away, and Richie, whoever it was, and we got together, and I put those lyrics together as we're going along, and we had so much fun. He said, "There's so much fun. Do you have any other songs? We should do an album." So they all came out here to Jokeland, and we recorded an album in my living room called Happy Endings. And it's really funny because when it's really quiet on the album, you literally can hear crickets, which is the comedian's nightmare, you know, crickets.
That's how Buddy Holly got the name for the band, by the way. When he recorded in his garage, but when in the quiet moments, you could actually hear the crickets on That'll Be the Day. I don't know where exactly the quiet moment is in That'll Be the Day, but that's how they named the band.
I love that. That's just... You know, I love the silly connections. I'm watching the Billy Joel band, and they have a sax player because Richie Cannata's, you know, under the weather and he's trying to recover. And the sax player was Joey D's son. Do you know who Joey D was? Or is?
Joey D and the Lamplighters or something like that, right?
Joey D and the Starlighters. Like the Starlighters were Jimi Hendrix and the guys from the Rascals and all these guys. Like everybody played with him. And Joey D, and he's still out there. And they said, hey, in the audience tonight, Joey D. You know, remember Joey D and the Starlighters, a Peppermint Twist? And this is his son playing the saxophone. Meanwhile, his son's like 50. You know, it's not like he's 12, you know. But I love those connections. You know, it's so much
fun. My friend Willie Scarpatone plays saxophone with them every once in a while. I guess they probably have a. But here's the thing I want to ask you about the Pot Song, because somebody said to me that they heard that on XRK. I was like, there's no that Howard used to play it on XRK every once in a while. I was like, there's no way that would get away with on the air.
No, they played the Pot Song all the time on the air. But that wasn't the Pot Song. I actually had a song that was the actual the one and only single that my band, the Off Our Rockers, recorded in 1977, and it's literally called "The Pot Song." And
so the other one
it's amazing. It's amazing story. And so much. No, the other thing is called "And I'm Thinking About You."
Oh,
and it's a love song. It's a love song. It is a love song.
Wow,
it really
thank
is.
you. I appreciate that. It's not exactly the kind of love song I was hoping for, but
But so many people get mixed up like that, and they think, I thought Howard used to play that on the air because it's from the word go. It's so filthy,
Yeah.
But I love it,
Were you ever a reason for the FCC get finding or causing trouble with the Stern Show?
Well, it depends
you
on
personally.
Yes, but no. Like the thing was always, don't look at me, he said it. Don't look at me, he wrote it. You know what I mean? And it's funny because not too long ago, somebody asked me if I remembered the Traffic Girl,
Donna Fiducia. Donna Fiducia.
I said, no. I said Donna Fiducia was the NBC Traffic Girl. The Traffic Girl at K-Rock was Susan Berkowitz, and we called her Susan Berserkowitz. And it's so funny because her family owned Archie Comics. Like they owned the whole kit and caboodle,
Wow.
Archie and Betty and Veronica and Jughead and all that. And it's weird because it's so funny. I got this shit. I got to show you this.
All right. As we keep time while Jackie.
Because I guess by the time I knew her brother was running the operation, and he was a huge fan. And when he found out, when I said, no, I wasn't a Marvel Comics guy. I was a guy it was Superman and Batman, and I made it a little bit to Aquaman, but I never made it to the Marvel and the Fantastic Four and all that. They were too wacky for me. But I love Walt Disney's Uncle Scrooge, which people couldn't wrap their heads around. And I love Betty and Veronica and Archie. And they say, oh, you homo, And her brother sent me, this is like a whole story from Betty and Veronica. Like this is what they do. They do a whole
Right.
They do the whole thing bigger, and then they color it in, and then they take picture of it and shrink it to comic book size. This is one of my pet. This is, that's my girl Betty. I wrote a song called Betty's Tune, which I started trying to do a musical, and it's the nicest song I ever wrote. And so meanwhile, the reason I'm telling you this is, however it went down, we used to give Susan Berserkowitz such a hard time. And somehow they were arguing about something, and Howard got into a bet with her. And if she lost the bet, she had to do what he wanted her to do. And she lost the bet. So we wrote a song, and she had to sing the song. And I wrote the song, and I'll send you. I got the lyrics. And it was I Gotta Be Me. But the song, the parody was I Love Sodomy. And she's in the helicopter, and she sings, I get down on my knees and I say, please, I told Jackie and Robin and Howard I would, whatever it is. And that was the first time we were cited by the FCC. And there's nothing funnier than seeing the official letterhead with the Federal Communications to whom it may concern, and Mel Karmazin and Howard Stern. And there is the lyrics. I love sodomy.
I thought you were going to say the subject line is I love sodomy.
Well, I don't think there was even email yet.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
and I know. So, and then we got a couple of times we got cited. It was always, and then we got in trouble for I don't know what the joke was, but we're talking about Shari Lewis, and with something about however we would have said it, but using lamb chop to jerk off, and it was just so funny, but the way they word it, it's just So
you know what?
Was it me? I didn't say it. So did I get in trouble with the FCC? No. but I kind of had something to do with it.
You wrote the sodomy song. Come on. That's wow. I wonder how much, because they don't get involved with like Sirius XM anymore, right? Or any of those satellite radios.
I don't know any of that.
No,
and the whole thing was that they never paid a fine. Like the way around it was like Mel made a huge contribution to the FCC, so they never admitted guilt, and nobody was guilty, but it went away. It's all about the money, and so it's such bullshit. But I just love seeing my name on the,
corporations are kind of doing the old, because last week I got a letter from YouTube about they were kind of moderating their stance on profanity, and there were words you can say, and somebody asked for a list of words you couldn't say. They would not provide that, but I know a couple of them, and I've said them many times on this program, that YouTube will give you a strike for or take your channel down.
That was the whole deal back then with the FCC. We can't tell you what's dirty. We just know what it is when we hear it, which is so ambiguous. And it was such bullshit. When I first started doing I realized, wow, I really should do some jokes for TikTok. And I had been doing jokes for this guy in Arizona, and I'd done like 100 jokes for him, but it was for AM radio. So there were dirty jokes, but there were clean versions of dirty jokes. And then I figured I'd do them for TikTok. But I guess, I don't know about now, but this is maybe 10, whenever TikTok just started, the way they did it, it must have gone through some kind of either computer program or there's people listening. And what would red flag a joke were certain words, but they wouldn't delete the joke. They would mute the joke. So one of the first batches I did, they muted a joke that had the word masturbate in it. And then they muted a joke that had the word dildo in it. Now, those words are not, there's no reason. But of course, I never said, shit or piss or anything like that. But then I figured if they're just looking for bad words, and I start on my TikTok, I got about 250 jokes. And the jokes that made it on, there's so many really, really filthy jokes. But they're told without, a girl goes into the drugstore and says to the guy behind the counter, I need to buy some prophylactics. Oh, you don't want to have any kids? No, my boyfriend doesn't want to get any duty on his rocket. Which is the dirtiest joke. My boyfriend doesn't want to get any shit on his cock, which is an ass sex joke. And it flew right by him. I have one joke that got over 1 million views. It's about a guy banging his girlfriend on a dinner table and then banging her mother on the dinner table, but it's told in such a way.
I know that joke.
Please, right by them. Yeah.
Please tell that joke, because that's one of my favorite jokes. If you could. So,
a guy is buying a used motorcycle. I'm going to tell it my way. I'm not going to tell it TikTok way.
Right.
But it's so close to the same. But a guy is buying a used motorcycle from his cousin, and he says, "My God, your motorcycle is so beautiful. It's like brand new. What's your secret?" He says, "Well, I got a tube of Vaseline, and whenever it's about to rain, I coat the chrome with Vaseline. That way, it doesn't tarnish and it doesn't rust, and the motorcycle stays like new." And he said, "You're taking the motorcycle. Hell, take the tube of Vaseline." So the guy takes the tube of Vaseline. He gets on his new motorcycle and goes to pick up his girlfriend, and they're going to go to her family's house, and he's going to have dinner and meet her parents for the very first time. So, yeah, he picks her up, and they're on the way to her parents' house, and she says, "I should tell you something. My family is very weird. You can't talk during dinner, because if you talk during dinner, you got to do the dishes." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, all right. What the big..." They pull up in front of her parents' house, and the whole front yard is dirty dishes. And the steps going up to the house, dirty dishes. The front porch is full of dirty dishes. He's kind of doing double take. He walks in the front parlor, And the living room, there's dirty dishes. They haven't done the dishes forever. Well, they sit down to eat, and the whole meal, nobody talks. And it's about the end of the meal, and nobody said anything. And the guy's a little horny, and he figures nobody's going to say anything. So he takes his girlfriend and puts her on the dinner table and bangs her. And nobody says nothing. So he's still a little horny, and her mother's kind of cute. So he pushes his girlfriend off the table and puts her mother on the table and starts doing her mother. And just then he looks out the window, and it's starting to rain on his motorcycle. So he reaches his pocket and takes out the tube of Vaseline, and her father jumps up and says, all right, I'll do the fucking dishes. Which is just the greatest, filthiest joke. I got 1.1 million on TikTok. How crazy is that?
Now I can't imagine. I'm trying to imagine how you might have cleaned that up for TikTok. I can't imagine any way to clean that up. Chrissy, who was in the audience, saying they TikTok had trouble with her with the snake videos. You know, she's a snake and lizard lady.
But why would they have trouble with that?
I have no idea.
Dangerous behavior.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what.
When she used motorcycle from his gun. When she has the larger snake, the boa, they think it's dangerous behavior.
Wow. Now,
all right, I just sent you that video to see.
Wow.
His cousin says, "Well, I got a tube of
hold on, let's see.
Anytime to have dinner for the very first time. The front
all
yard
right, yeah,
is
let me
full of dirty dishes. Nobody talks. It's the end of the meal. He's a little horny. He figures nobody's going to say anything. He takes his girlfriend, lies her on the dining room table, and he bangs her. Nobody says nothing. He's still a little horny, and her mother's kind of cute, you know. He takes her mother and lies her on the dining room table and starts banging her. He's just about done. He looks out the window and sees it starting to rain on his motorcycle. He reaches his pocket, takes out the tube of Vaseline. Her father jumps up and says, all right, I'll do the stupid dishes.
Stupid dishes.
And it flew right past them. They loved it.
Wow. Yeah, because you don't say fucked, you say banged, right? So yeah, they wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't know. Yeah. I've had some issues with TikTok that I couldn't figure out like why it got. By the way, I got the weirdest ban from Facebook. I'm allowed to post anything I want, but I can't share links. And they're like what community standard could I have possibly violated that they're still letting me post?
I never understood any of those rules. So many times you go to separate a link and copy it, and they won't let you. And not just all of those different. You could go crazy trying to keep up with what you can do. You know, sometimes on messages you can't copy something, and you can't pay. You know.
Yeah.
You're just chasing them around. It's bullshit. You know.
Yeah. I'm trying to not go to controversial things, but I just want to ask you about this. I'm sure you know about the Riyadh Festival, the Saudis thing. All these comics who went over there losing, I don't know, fans turning on them for. If I offered you, let's say, $1.6 million to go play the worst fucking place in the world, would you take it?
I can't, that's not even a question. You know, whenever I talk to people about gigs, I say, I never say no to a gig. Right. What you do is you price yourself out of the ball game. If it's a gig I don't want to do, I tell the guy a lot of money, and it's, you know, not to hurt anybody. But if somebody says, do you want to go to Alaska and work a one-nighter? I don't say no. I would say, yeah, you know, $15,000 in airfare. And then, you know, and if it's a horrible gig, but if they come up with the money, you do it. It's funny because when that thing first happened, somebody must have photoshopped my picture. So my picture was one of those many people there. And said, are you really doing this show? And I said, no, they never asked me, but, you know, of course I would go. As stupid as it is, you know, you're not going to alter anything. You're not going to change everybody's minds. It's Is it wrong? Yeah, but there's so much wrong going on.
Right.
It's, I mean, I went over, I did Iraq, with Bo Bice, and we did, a United States tour over there, Stars and Stripes, Stars for Stripes or whatever. And that wasn't anything for or against any kind of war. It was to entertain the soldiers that were there. Right. So I just have to imagine if they're over there, they got to be working to people that know English. That must have been thrilled to have them there. I think it's up to the comic. I think it's up to the individual person, and it's nobody's business to say, Napo, what are you doing going over there? It's none of my business what you do.
I agree. My take on that is the people who are most upset have never been in the performing arts and don't realize. Yes, the money is a bit. You're doing it for the money of $1.6 million is really hard to turn down. But the mindset.
Did they really pay some of the guys that much money?
Oh yeah, yeah. Chappelle and Burr, I believe, got that much money. But what people don't understand is how difficult it is to say no to a gig if you're in the performing art. Like I take gigs all the time that I regret saying yes to, but I can't say no to a gig. If you're being offered a gig, this is a chance to perform for an audience.
And the old thing is, it's the old fear. You say no to a gig, the phone's never going to ring again. That's
right.
That whole thing.
Yeah.
I also think it's an interesting thing.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I think it's an interesting thing to do and go and perform somewhere different. Like I would go to China. There are probably plenty of comics that do China as well, who are probably equally awful to their population.
Yeah.
And other countries, it is up to you.
I've had a friend that's been in Thailand forever trying to get me to go to Phuket, but I'm a little bit of a fraidy cat. But these people go over there, they move there and they live there, and like I'm sure these guys that went to Saudi Arabia or wherever it was, I'm sure they were flown first class and treated like gods, and I'm sure it was an incredible experience.
Yeah.
Well, Saudi owned boxing now. Golf, they're getting into WWE. Like they're getting into all these other sports because the oil industry at some point is going to start fading away. So they're trying to get all these other things going on.
Yeah, and their government, the government's chopping up people. So is our government, for Christ's sakes. Like who are we kidding? It's
in 1981, I got an offer to play Sun City. In that time, we had a 13-piece band, and there were 3 black girl singers in the band, and they were the ones who wanted to go. All the white people were the ones who said no. The 3 black, and you realize you're going to have to use the back door and get the worst accommodations and all that stuff, and there's nothing we could do about it. They were willing to go. We weren't. And I remember being on the street with Paul Schaefer at the time. The Letterman show had just started. We were smoking a joint with Paul Schaefer. We were doing a studio session. Asked him if he wanted to go out and smoke a joint. We passed the joint to him, and he smoked the joint. He never passed it back. But I remember asking him, would you consider going to Sun City with us? He goes, Sun City? You got to pay me a lot to go to Sun City.
Right. He didn't say no.
Right. He did. That's my point. He's like, he's of the Jackie Martling school of thought, where I just price myself out of it. Whatever.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
This has got nothing to do with that. And I'm not a conspiracy guy, even a little bit, because there's enough going wrong and people are doing enough wrong things in your face. You don't have to start a conspiracy that Donald Trump dropped shit on a crowd in a video because that really happened. I was watching yesterday, CBS News. Sunday morning, and that girl Virginia Guthrie,
Guthrie,
she wrote a book. She committed suicide, and now the book is coming out. I think it's coming out today. And the woman that co-wrote the book with her was on CBS News, and she looked like a delightful woman, and she's so glad to get the story out there, and she really loved this woman. And they're talking and blah, blah, blah. But but Donald Trump isn't mentioned. No, he had nothing to do with any of this. And I'm thinking, they bought off this woman. They made them alter the book enough so Trump isn't in any kind of bad light in it, and then gave her the green light to go ahead and promote this book, because here's the book and here's the whole story. And see, he's not involved. And I know that sounds like a huge conspiracy, but
no,
I mean,
not really.
The girl, they met her. Jeffrey Epstein met her at Mar-a-Lago and brought her to work for him. Right. I mean, the ludicrousness that of him not having any involvement.
I'm shocked by that, because I saw a headline this morning that woman was spilling the beans on Trump. Now I'm confused, because she's not spilling the beans on Trump, but it was like, I think she had on.
Oh, you know what? No. You know what? Maybe she just didn't say anything on CBS. Now CBS is that what's face Barry Weiss or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe she went on and didn't say. I don't know. I hope she's spilling some beans.
Yeah, Larry Ellison, who is Trump's buddy, has bought Paramount and CBS and all that kind of for his son. Here's a little bit a little project I want you to.
I went to a party on his yacht in Cannes, and the back of, I don't know about now, this is 15 years ago, the back of his yacht was a half-court basketball court, a teak floor basketball court. Imagine how big the yacht was.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was just fucking amazing, and a great party thrown by one of the richest, this guy Michael Saylor, who I think is one of the driving forces of crypto and all that. But the boat was so huge, and him and Paul Allen were having a big dick contest. Who's going to have the biggest yacht? And the rumor was that Larry Ellison was going to cut his boat in half and put a whole middle section on it to make it longer than Paul Allen's yacht. And here I am. I got no involvement in the movie business at all. I'm on Larry Ellison's yacht, and then I spent a couple nights, partying on Paul Allen's yacht. I'm like, who the fuck am I? How did this happen?
Really?
I never met Larry Ellison, but I met Paul Allen, and it was a great character.
Speaking of big dick contests, did I tell you that Dan Pasternak was talking about the Milton Berle Forrest Tucker big dick contest on the
there's so many versions.
Oh, you know that story, that Forrest Tucker Milton Berle big dick thing?
That's been going around, the story at the Friars Club was Frank, the old maitre d'. Frank was the greatest character in the world. He was the maitre d'. And the story at the Friars Club was Frank was the guy who was going to measure them, you know. Yeah. And then they, and they came up and supposedly Milton Berle won. And, how big was it? I just took out enough to win, which is so funny. But then you hear from other people that Forrest Tucker's dick was much bigger. And,
wow.
And there's a new movie with Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson, the Naked Gun movie.
Right.
And he's supposed to have the biggest dick there ever was in the world.
Liam Neeson?
It's almost, if I got the right actor.
Well, he's the guy in the movie, definitely.
Yeah, no. And they kind of make light of it. It's like wink, wink, nod, nod. If you know that, it's,
she knows big dicks. I mean, she knows Tommy. She was married to Tommy Lee. It takes a lot to impress her.
And she's so good in the movie, and she's so cute and so fun, and she's also great in that Last of the Showgirls movie. She's whatever it was called, whatever it,
Now that whole thing with Liam Neeson saying I have a particular set of skills takes a different meaning to me now.
Well, Dan Pasternak, for a time, who not to bring the show about him, but he was booking stuff for Milton Berle, and he told the story about seeing Milton's dick twice. The first one, he was supposed to help him punch up a script. Went to his apartment at 9:00 in the morning, and Milton was sitting there in the bathrobe. His legs were open and could see it, and he audibly gasped when he opened the door, like. But then the second time he was in a urinal standing next to not sitting, Milton Berle, and he was like, should I check? Because I kind of was an anomaly. Did I really see it? And then Milton Berle said, okay, here it is. This is what you want to see. And it was just like, wow, he must have gotten that so often. Like, how
he loved, according to people, he loved showing it to people. I'm sure we've talked about this. He came on the Stern Show.
That's what I was going to ask you. I kind of remember Howard talking about it a lot, besides the Milton.
He came on the Stern Show. I got he wrote a page of an autograph to me, but he came on, and after we go to break, I would always have to go to the bathroom because I drank so much coffee. So we go to break, and he's leaving, and he's walking with his handler a couple of feet in front of me, and when he walked out of the studio and started down the hall, he turned to his handler and said, he talked about my cock for 45 minutes. I can still hear him saying it.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, every way you can imagine, Yeah. I ever tell you the story? Buddy Hackett's son, Sandy Hackett, who's an old, at this point, I've known him probably 40 years, a great guy. And for a while, he had that Rat Pack show going in Las Vegas. But when his bar mitzvah, he's turning 13. So, of course, Buddy Hackett, all his friends are, everybody in show business. And he said Milton Berle grabbed him and took him to the men's room. And he thought, and Milton Berle said, close your eyes and put out your hand. And he, of course, thought Milton Berle's going to give him $100 or $500 or $3,000. And Milton Berle put his cock in his hand. Not being gay, just being outrageous.
Nothing gay about that.
I mean, how fucking weird. I mean,
you must have big hands.
Where I would have to say it's going to get, if you want this back, it's going to cost you $100.
Jeez.
Dan
I
talked
actually wrote a joke. I wrote a joke about Milton Berle for the Betty White roast that I never got. Nobody ever took it. I said she ran into Milton on a rainy day, and he dragged her into an alley. And he took out his cock and put it in her hand. And she said, no way, it's too big. And he goes, well, that's no reason to drop it in the mud. which is just a wonderful big dick joke,
Dan talked about falling on the floor in the men's room when he saw it for the second time, and Milton putting a hand out, and we were all thinking he was going to say he had to climb up by the cock.
I thought you would say he saw it twice. He saw it once, and then the second time he saw the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, it was so big you had to show it in installments. That was the old joke about. Susan Parker wants to say hello. She's in the dark. Hello, Susan. How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
Is that better?
Well, yes. Now you're in the light. Jackie, for you don't know Susan Parker, she runs a horse. Well, sanctuary is what would you call it?
Yeah, we're a sanctuary. We adopt retired and handicapped horses. If they come to us, they're going to stay with us.
All right.
Where?
Now,
so
where are you?
What were you guys recently talking about?
Where are you?
Where is your horse farm? Where's your horse farm? I'm
Boulder, Colorado.
Do you ever hear Amanda Kalimian, who saves Mustangs? Do you know her?
I've heard the name, but I don't know.
They bought a huge farm in either Idaho or Montana. Her husband's like the biggest developer in New York City. And she has an incredible stable in East Norwich, where I grew up. And they save Mustangs and they save horses. And they have a treadmill for the horses. Imagine a treadmill for the horses. I guess to rejuvenate them, and I guess they have a big farm. So you're in Boulder.
Yep.
That's great. These are ex-race horses or just horses?
I myself don't have an ex-race horse. I do have an ex-polo horse, and then I have an ex-trail horse. It started with a horse named Daisy, who was born in my arms and was handicapped from birth.
Oh, wow.
That's the mini horse, right? The little...
No, that's Pickles. She actually, I adopted from a rescue that had gotten her from a auction.
Now
So I got the mini.
The horses heal people. The horses are healers, right? That's basically the purpose of them. I go.
Yes, so I give the horse a new job helping people heal, love, and grow because I believe that everyone should spend a little time with a horse.
Spend a little time with a horse. Well, we were just talking
I
about.
Misunderstood because I saw that show that y'all did, and I thought it would spend more time with horses, and it got me in trouble with my wife. So,
30 minutes with a horse will change your life. I promise.
Yeah, well, all I want to say is don't believe the sheep. They're all liars.
The worst thing about having sex with a horse is when it's his turn.
Ouch. Ouch.
But that, we're making fun, but that's a great thing that you're doing. That's.
I thought you guys were talking about dicks again. We talked about dicks the last time I talked about horses.
Well,
I think this is something you're attracting.
Come on again.
Yeah. Well, when we run out of things to talk about, we always fall back on dicks.
Of course.
Well, I don't fall back on them. It's just
that's not true. You start there, you stay there, and you finish there. So you have a huge farm, Susan. You have a huge farm in Boulder.
Actually, we're very blessed to be having the horses and the programs on another woman's farm. It's a 26-acre beautiful farm with a pond. We're trying to find a property that has an actual equestrian center so we could do more programs, but we haven't really found the funding for it just yet, actually.
How long have you lived in Boulder?
Well, let's see. I lived in Boulder right out of college. I went to CSU in Fort Collins, but I moved to Boulder in the late 90s. And then I kind of moved around a bit, and I just moved back to Boulder about 2 years ago.
Now, the reason I asked is my cousin had a couple of restaurants in Boulder called Around the Corner. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
actually.
That was my cousin's restaurants.
Wow.
I think there was one, but I think he expanded and opened a second one before he sold it. But I love it's beautiful there. I only was there a couple of times, but I loved it. Wow.
When you grew up in South Oyster Bay, in Oyster Bay, down the road from Sagamore Hill, were there horse properties there? Because there's horse properties here on the North Shore of Long Island. Were there like?
Oh yeah, there's I mean, people don't ride horses past my house, but there's so many big estates with lots of horses. In fact, Billy Joel wanted to expand his property. He bought the property next door, and he wanted to have people so weird. He wanted to have 12 horses, and they'd only let him have 6, which I don't understand. Rich people.
I think there's so much acreage per horse. This is how it is in Maryland. You have to have so much acreage per horse.
Right.
At any rate, I think that at this point he's been trying to sell that house forever. But there's horse farms scattered all around here, and they're not actual horse. It's people with their private horses. It's so much wealth up here. It's crazy.
I know. So you're a blue blood, is what you're trying to tell us. You're aristocracy.
Across the street when I was a kid, East Norwich, my hometown was such a tiny hamlet, and there was Johnny Gilbert's horse stables almost across the street, and Victor Borga used to keep his polo ponies there. Now, do you know who Victor Borga is?
GD's idol almost, or somebody he holds in very high esteem.
I do.
He was great, and it's funny because once in a blue moon, the horses get free, and all of a sudden there'd be a horse in our backyard. And my old man, my grandfather was a blacksmith. The blacksmith shop was right on my property, but my father was petrified of horses. So my uncle had to come over 2 blocks and walk the horse back I always thought that was so funny, grown man.
Victor Borga lived on Long Island. I'm surprised now.
No, he just for some reason his polo ponies were in Johnny Gilbert's stable. I never looked into it, knew why. I never heard Victor Borga's name mentioned anything to do with Long Island at all, except for that. In fact, that's a funny thing to look into.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's kind of like sponsoring a little league team. Like they're his horses, but he's never ridden them. They're just, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he sponsored a polo team. A polo team. I'm sure.
Wow.
You know,
Hey, Jackie, you ever
has a question
sponsor?
for you, Jackie.
Hey, Jackie, have you ever been asked to sponsor like a little league team or something? Because you're pretty popular in your neck of the woods.
Well,
Yeah.
I was sponsoring a girls lacrosse team until they told me I couldn't go in the locker room. Then I said, "The hell with that." You know.
Oh well.
No, oh, that's a joke.
No, I never sponsored anything, but I would have loved to. You know.
Well, isn't your name on a NASCAR or something?
Yeah, but that I didn't.
I got a great horse. I got a great mini horse that could use a sponsor.
Mini horse. That would be
good.
I
don't know what mini horse is. A mini horse.
It's like
pony?
the size of a dog. It's like right, a small dog.
Yeah,
not a small dog, but like
she's
like a mastiff.
Inches tall.
How many inches? 30.
Yeah, she's 32 inches tall. She goes to nursing homes and assisted living centers with me. She makes all the old people smile. She goes in their rooms and walks right up to their beds, and they love it.
Wow.
Now, what is that? Is that a dwarf horse or a midget horse or what?
Essentially a midget horse. Yeah, so it's a miniature horse. I don't know if that's the correct.
Do they get offended? Do they get offended if you call them a midget horse?
Yeah, the horses aren't going to complain.
Pickles would probably be offended. Actually, she's got an attitude, but she'll go on elevators.
A horse is a horse. Of course.
Yes,
you know.
Mr. Ed, right?
Now, Susan, I have a question.
Picture. Do you have pictures? What's the horse?
Yeah, let me.
How do I? Yeah.
Daisy. Do I go to Daisy?
Daisy chain.
Yeah, I got there. I'll get it.
Okay, Susan. Now, there's some animals when they go to visit old
Hook me up
people's
with
homes.
Susan on email.
I will.
I want to see the horsey. I'll sponsor. I don't have any money, but how much can it eat? It's a little horsey.
Well, Pickles doesn't eat that much. She's, a regular horse eats about 25 pounds of grass or hay a day, but Pickles eats about 3 pounds. So
now she's a female?
Mm-hmm.
How rare? How rare is she?
I don't know how rare she is.
I don't think she's
I
that
haven't really
rare.
looked into that, but she's definitely cute and everyone loves her. And I can take her anywhere. I have this little 1-horse trailer. So
here you go. I don't know if you can see that picture.
That's Daisy.
Yeah.
And then
that's Daisy. That's Daisy when she's a.
Yeah. Oh, what happened? Did we lose him?
Matt took himself out. He'll be back. He was probably trying to change the pictures. Matt has a problem with buttons and technology, stuff like that.
Yeah, he was
talk about
me.
him while he's not here. Let's talk about
the dementia-ridden old fuck. 1,000 episodes of this.
I blew it. Where? Oh, my camera is up.
There he is.
The FBI raiding. Your power gun?
They said horses. A horse is a horse, of course. Where do I find Pickles?
So it should be under maybe About Us, I think. There should be
About Us and our horses. Is this so you can't really tell the size of Pickles from this image, though. If I try this one more time and see if I don't eliminate myself again. But you can't really tell the size of her from the image I'm about to show, right?
Well, we haven't seen. Well, I haven't seen the image on this.
This one on the one on the left of this is Pickles, right?
See the little legs?
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's not the best picture, actually.
Yeah, you can't really. There's nothing to scale.
If you go to the. There you go. If you go to the programs and services.
Programs and services.
And click on magical
mini horse painting parties. Is that it? Oh,
magical mini horse visit.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And you can see.
All right, let's try this one more
That's
time.
Funny.
Look how cute she is. We were a unicorn and an angel for Halloween last year.
Yeah.
Oh. That's
so
cool.
Here you go. So yeah, that's how big she gets. And then when she was born, was she the size of a puppy? You don't know. You didn't get it.
Eventually, she was probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's like the size big dog, right? You know, and
There've
been times that the nurses in the nursing home. There was one this last time. I took her into the
Here's
room.
what people really want to know. Here's what people really want to know about Pickles. Does she use a litter box, or I mean, you have to walk her every day?
I have a harness for her and a little poop bag that kind of sucks right up against her.
Right, they use those on the horses in Central Park.
Smart. She's so smart. I had to warn them that she might pee in there because I can't keep her from peeing. And most of the nursing homes are like, well, we clean up really gross fluids all the time, so we don't.
Yeah, that's it.
But she peed twice in the place. And the last 2 times, she's given me a cue. She'll paw. And she'll let me know she needs to pee, and we'll go outside, and she'll pee outside. She's the smartest little horse, I tell you.
Now, I have a question. How long have those bags been around to collect horse poop before it hits the ground? The reason why I'm asking is because when I was in high school, they used to have these things called donkey basketball games. And you play basketball from a donkey, and they were having them poop on the basketball court was like the cost of doing business. You know, they didn't have any bags on their butts. I'm just wondering why.
Well, when they're playing something like that, they can't have a poop bag probably. But, you know, they have poop bags on the horses in the carriages that walk through the city.
Right. Yeah, that's what Jackie was saying.
Catches it.
You know, when I was a kid, we used to have, I'm ashamed of this, but we used to have, there was like a troop that would come through like once a year. And it was donkey baseball.
Eddie King in his court. The king in his court.
And they play against, the firemen or whatever. And there would be, they draw like a big circle, and you had to either ride the donkey or at least have the donkey by the leash. But they'd get there in the afternoon, and they would stake the donkeys tie them to the stakes, to hang out till the game started. And we used to go there and shoot their wieners with a pea shooter. Because their penises would hang down 1.5 foot, and then you hit it with the pea and the thing would jump up. Kids. Idiots,
maybe I should start counting how many times we talk about dicks in 1 hour.
Can't help it. It was going to get a little worse here because Doug Stanhope, who has a book called No Encore for the Donkey, and it's about the donkey shows in Tijuana, and in the foreword he claims there's no such thing; it's just a myth. And I wanted to say, and I've told this before, it's not a myth. There are no donkey shows unless you go down there with the intent and enough money and really want to see them that bad.
Right.
You can make that happen. And I went down to Juarez with a guy named Lou Bogle who had enough money and was determined and paid a guy to bring a donkey into a barn, and this underage prostitute, and it was his daughter, actually, the guy's daughter, and she went to just touch the donkey's dick, and the donkey flipped out. I'm saying donkey, and Carl's going to get mad because it's donkey. Yes. And the donkey kicked her into the back wall. She hit her head on the wall and split her head open, and there's blood dripping down the wall. The father took a shotgun and started shooting up the donkey. The police came in and arrested us all.
And they called it the aristocrats.
No, there's no ending like that to this story. We had to basically get bailed out, like call Lou's parents back, wire us money to get bailed out from court.
I thought he was going to put the daughter down. There's no moneymaker there now. Jaw's broken.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a horrible story.
That's a horrible story, but the point is that's people say there's no such thing as a donkey.
Yeah, me and my buddy went to Mexico and funded bestiality and underage sex trafficking.
Yes. So if you have enough money and enough will, you can make anything happen.
Susan, we weren't talking about dicks and stuff until you showed up, so thank you for this.
No, I think we were right before you showed up.
That's actually not true. I was listening, you guys.
Yeah, we're 5 minutes before this.
Yeah. Anyway, how do we get screwed up on the order here? I'm fine with the order. I just want to know how it got all whacked out. Anyway, so the point is that you can, with enough money and enough determination, you can make anything happen in this world. So anyway,
that's
sorry
true.
to derail it.
They call, manifestation, right?
Yes.
Make it happen.
Love that word, right?
Do you don't sell horses or breed horses for anybody, do you?
I don't.
You know.
I mean, I did. I didn't breed Bobby. Bobby got pregnant right before I was moving to Colorado. We decided we'd turn the stallion that we rescued out with the mares for the winter. And because horses don't usually breed in the winter. And it was one of the worst winters, double blanketed. And 2 months before I was moving to Colorado, I found out my mare was pregnant.
Wow.
With Daisy.
I'm going to share Daisy Chain sanctuary.org in the description here if people want to go there and check out what you do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I can't see a little cold keeping a horse from having sex.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, of five mares, mine was the one that got pregnant.
Wow.
Bragging.
And they're not supposed to have babies in the winter. She was born in a snowstorm in December. They have an 11-month gestation.
Nature has these things timed so that these things are born around, the
exactly.
Food supplies are available, and
they don't usually have babies in the winter. It's kind of not the right thing. So
wow,
it was kind of a miracle for her to be cycling in the winter. Like she was cycling on the shortest days of the year. So I don't know.
A deer just had a fall. I don't know if that's what you call them. Right in my front yard 2 days ago, which is close enough to winter.
Late, kind of late in the season for them.
Yeah.
Even babies.
I don't think they're paying attention.
Oh, whoa! What do you mean? Like the deer had a baby deer
right in my front garden? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see this happen?
Saw it laying there, and the mother left it there. This is what was concerning to me. It's like she's not supposed to leave it there. She came back for it like a couple of hours later, but she just went off on her own. Like, wait a minute, you're not just. This isn't ours to take care.
Well, it's not unusual for them to leave it there. It's because the deer don't move, and for the most part, the predators that look for them are looking for the movement.
Right.
And if the deer lays still, they're relatively safe.
There really are no predators. Ron Kane is here. Good morning, Ron. Upside down, Kane. Sideways.
As soon as you say predators, who looks?
Both sentences work together.
How's it going?
Napo, did you take a picture? Did you take a picture?
I think my wife has a picture on her phone. I'll see if I can get that and share it sometime. But I'm pretty sure she got a picture on her phone. It was kind of weird because I don't know if I've told you this before, Jackie, but we have wild turkey. We have chickens now, like free range chickens. Everything comes to my yard now. It's like a sanctuary on its own, and I'm out there feeding the chickens, and now we have other animals.
I was going to say that's very.
Now, where do you live? Where are you? Are you next to a pond? Are you next to the sound?
I am I'm right on the sound, but I'm also right next to the nuclear power plant that was built in Shoreham. And I'm in between the nuclear power plant and Tesla's coil. So
I'm three-headed deer.
I'm gonna be glowing any minute now. But yeah, that's that's exactly where I am. And so if anybody wants to send missiles my way, yeah, that's how you can locate me. Ron, where are you? You're outdoors today. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm outside right now because I'm currently at the building I work at, but I leave in like an hour to go over to my mom's house and work from there.
Wow. All right, Mr. So you're out there from Frito-Lay?
No, he's not a Frito-Lay. He's not.
I'm not at Frito-Lay anymore. Yeah, those days are done. But I got a new job offer today, so we'll see how that goes.
Is this the same company that's renewing your contract, or is this okay?
Yes.
Is it Plant Tulips?
No. The word of the day for me is detox. So I got to get working on that.
Wow.
What a cast of characters here. Jesus Christ.
I know.
I wanted to be outside. I wanted to be outside so you guys could see the mountains because it's a really pretty view, but it's too windy today here. It's like
really?
Yeah.
Is it cold yet there? I mean, it's.
We actually froze the other night, which I was so happy about because then it kills all the flies.
I bet you have a lot. You have a lot of flies there with all the horses and stuff.
Yeah.
Flies are attracted to horses.
That's right.
Hey, I'm trying to eat here. Sorry, Jackie. That's your fly joke.
You know, when they taped an episode of The Affair here, and the episode, there were 2 horses involved. The Affair was a very weird TV show, and the way it worked was you saw scenes from the point of view of the mother and the point of view from the father, and they were, of the child. They were separated, so they both had different views of what was going on. So there was 2 different images of this girl's 5-year-old party. So we had 2 different size horses here. We had a small pony, for the pony rides, but then they had a full-size horse, because that's the way the father saw it. Like, look, she put him on this they put her on this big horse, blah, blah, blah. So the 2 horses, there were so many goddamn flies here, and they were hanging those strips, those sticky strips, which is just so disgusting. Oh, man. But we had flies in our house for like a month,
I want.
Yeah.
Now, you sent me a picture, Jackie, of your harvest, and I was just confused because it looked like all leaves. Do you wait for? Are you getting patient, or do you wait for buds? I didn't see any buds on what was hanging upside down.
Well, that's because the leaves are hanging down. I've sent you a picture of the buds. It's beautiful. Are you kidding me?
Well,
it's been 2 weeks, so it might be almost time to
go try it out, test them out. Yeah, last picture. Oh, I don't know why you sent me pictures, but now the last thing I'm seeing is up when they were growing, not the harvest ones. I'm just looking through all the private messages I got from you when they were still growing, not from the harvest ones. Anyway, it's just because I was baffled by that. Like, it looked like a whole lot of just leaves hanging down. I was like,
no, I wouldn't grow just leaves. What are you, stupid?
Yeah, I know. I just look like you got impatient.
That's beside the point.
It really just occurred
Take a
to
look
me.
at that.
This is episode 1000, and nobody is broadcasting from an airport today. I mean, how horrible is that?
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that.
You don't know? We
No.
should all be broadcasting from an airport today, because that's where you're supposed to hang out.
Why?
The fuck is he talking about?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Somebody explain it to me.
I thought this was coffee with the dog. I'm not going to be in an airport.
Airport?
Yeah, your friend Willie.
Oh, I forgot about Willie. Well, he's not my friend.
Yeah, I figured I'd bring that up because if someone's been watching this for 1,000 episodes,
right,
they would appreciate that callback.
I think it was like 400 episodes he's been gone, but anyway. Yeah, where entire screen?
Was that the one where he flew somewhere without the money for a ticket or something?
Yeah,
something like that.
Oh, there's some
well,
nice
you totally lost me, and I would assume most of the audience.
Yeah.
Not really. If they're listening, unless you're saying they're not listening.
Here's some nice big buds for you. You could probably see all my private chats there with.
Yeah. We're just going through those right now.
I don't think there's anything incriminating.
That looks like pot, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely weed.
Now I want to take a trip to a place on the North Shore of Nassau County, within the town of Oyster Bay, which is enough. Yeah, to go see my friend Jackie and say hello to his plants. That's all I really want to do.
All right, now, Bo, I got 5% left. So if all of a sudden I disappear, it's not me being rude. It's me running out of juice.
That's fine. We only have 5% left on the show.
So,
too, so.
Jackie, when I want to talk to you about the podcast. You said to mention it on the show to you. So you mean wait then since you're low on juice and we just talk afterwards?
Tell me, Napo, what's he talking about? What podcast is he talking about?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
The one with Alan Katz, What Makes Us Laugh?
Alan Katz, the Tales from the Crypt guy?
Yeah, HBO Tales from the Crypt and Demon Knight.
And you wanted to get Jackie on that. Is
right.
That
You're right.
I don't think you really asked him until just now.
I did ask Jackie. I sent him a text and he told me to wait until such and such.
Yeah, because I don't know what, I don't know who you're talking about with the Tales from the Crypt and the
Tales
stuff,
from the Crypt. Remember the Crypt Keeper, the Tales from the Crypt show on HBO? The Crypt Keeper guy?
I know of it. I know of it, but no,
Oh. Yeah, Alan Katz was one of the. He was, I think, the creative director behind it, the driving force behind that show.
One of the writers. One of the writers, and he wrote for a couple of movies and stuff like that. But he was also a big fan of yours, and so we wanted to get you on the podcast on What Makes Us Laugh.
Did we lose Susan? Did I pop her out?
No.
Oh.
And this special edition of Boomer Corner has been brought to you by episode 1000.
Don't be the boomers outnumber you here.
Sorry
We'll come
about
over
that.
there and kick your ass.
Just take your medicine. That's all I got to do. It's over.
All right, fine.
I will do one plug because for whatever reason, in the last couple of weeks, I got a whole bunch of emails that if people watch the show on Amazon Prime, and all of a sudden I pop up and they're like, fuck, where'd that come from? So I'm in this show called The Better Sister, and I'm in episode 7, and my house is in episode 8, and Elizabeth Banks gets spanged in my bed, but unfortunately I'm nowhere to be seen. But it's a great murder mystery.
I'm glad you said that, because somebody said they had to sit through 8 episodes till they finally saw you. Now you're in episode 7.
Hey, Matt, I'm jumping. I got to go. I'll see you.
See you
Ron. See you tonight, Ron.
The boss is cracking the whip. But I've been telling people, go directly to episode 8 to see Jackie.
But what? It's a great show. Forget me. It's a great murder mystery. I don't know why anybody would not want to watch it.
Because
I'll give it a whirl.
Scenes. Well, I have nothing to do with it. The Better Sister.
Why I won't watch it is because I can't make it through a television show without falling asleep. I cannot watch television anymore. It's an old
Jessica Biel, Elizabeth Banks.
Like indica.
No, I don't smoke the indica. I'm definitely a sativa guy. At least that's what they tell me.
You could try not smoking and say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch an episode of this show and then reward myself with a joint. That way you watch the whole thing, and at the end you have a happy ending. And
Jackie,
you're a fucking idiot.
The problem, I appreciate that advice, and it's good advice. But last week I went 2 days without smoking weed, and I thought I was having a stroke. I literally canceled my way out of a dinner theater gig that I had because I thought I was having a stroke because I didn't smoke.
I'm glad you weren't having a stroke. I think I saw that episode.
I'm not sure that I wasn't. Just whatever it passed when I started smoking weed again. So maybe I was having a mini stroke.
That's what
Jesus Christ.
That's the medicine.
And I don't go to the doctor for my prostate cancer because Jackie told me it'll pass. He told me that getting up in the middle of the night only lasts till you're like.
Don't put that on Jackie. Don't put that on
Jackie.
No.
Tell me it passes.
You should go to the prostate doctor all the time anyway. It's got nothing to do with taking a leak. You don't want prostate cancer. How old are you?
66.
Yeah, you should definitely be, my doctor said, oh, yeah, you're fine. Come back in 5 years. I said, in 5 years, the cancer could have cancer. Christ's sakes. I go back every year and I give him a rose and he sticks his finger in my ass and we live happily ever after,
Beautiful.
Because that's nasty. You don't want prostate cancer. But going to the bathroom, it really does pass. Not to make a bad joke, but it's so funny. Yeah, I don't get up in the middle of the night to pee at all anymore. And I used to be,
I don't either. I just pee to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why get up? I'm gonna whatever. No, I do. It's still 14 times a night. Like I will get up to pee, and before I make it back to the bed, I gotta pee again.
I get so many looks from people because when I'm traveling or going anything, I'll go into a public men's room and take a leak, and by the time I get to the door, I turn around and go back to the urinal because I got to go again. And people are like, what's he just here for the view, or what's he doing?
Yeah.
Say
hello to the beef.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Hello, John.
Hey,
Good
John.
morning.
Hey, how's it going? I just want to hop in and say congratulations on your 1000th episode, but mostly I wanted to say hi to Jackie.
Yeah, of course you do.
Hey.
Now, what somebody tell me about this chimpanzee story. There's an interesting chimpanzee story that you guys were involved in. A little.
The chimpanzee lady.
Oh, the chimpanzee lady.
Oh, chimpanzee lady.
Oh, yeah.
I think she stole one of Jackie's shoes.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, at the zoo, John?
Yeah, at the zoo.
At the zoo.
The chimpanzee lady.
We're at the zoo, and this very pretty, she looked, you know what? She actually looked like she just stepped out of Kappa Delta sorority in Michigan State. And she was, slender and very pretty. And somehow she just jumped into our conversation and said, oh, yeah, that's Harriet. She's a hairy, whatever. She just seemed to know. So we started asking her questions. And what'd she say? She comes back to the zoo like 3 times a week or something?
Yeah, she said 3 to 4 times a week she goes right there and hangs out with the chimpanzee, the specific chimpanzee.
Wow.
So it was...
I think she wanted to fuck the chimpanzee.
But she was so normal, but not,
But not.
I don't know what normal means anymore. And I never really was whatever that might be. But what passes for normal now? Who knows? I mean,
I don't think any of us would know.
It all passes.
Susan's got a mini horse, but she's using the horse to do good and taking it around. This girl didn't talk about, well, I'm going to take this chimpanzee to the hospitals and do anything. She just wanted to flirt with him. We assumed it was a him, right? We don't even know.
Yeah, it was a guy. Yeah, it was their oldest male chimpanzee. His name was, I think, Sammy or something like that. But she knew everything about him. Everything about him. And she even said goodbye, I love you to him, to the glass when she walked away from us.
Wow. My mind goes back to that story about the San Francisco lady who had pet chimpanzees, and she lived in an apartment, and the people downstairs were always complaining, and the pet chimpanzees ended up raping and murdering the people downstairs that were complaining about the chimpanzee. That was kind of a famous story.
Is that true? There was a woman. There was a chimpanzee in Connecticut 10 or 20 or 30 years ago that was somebody's pet chimp, and all of a sudden, out of a clear blue sky, the chimp just ripped the lady's face off and everything. Remember that? It was a big story.
Yeah, it was the first face transplant. I don't even know how that went afterwards.
Wow.
One of them had a face transplant after. It's pretty bad. Was that the one with the birthday cake and it got jealous?
Yes.
But she gave a friend a cake, right?
Very possible.
Carl knows all the weird news stories.
Oh, yeah.
My friends trained Zippy the chimp way back in the early 70s. But Zippy only got to be 2 years old. And once Zippy was 2 years old, they had to trade him in. It was a her. They had to, give her to the zoo or whatever and get a new one. Because after 2 years old, they are way, way too strong.
Yeah.
If they ever turned, they have the strength of, I think he said they had the strength of 10 men at 2 years old, and they're 2 feet tall. It's a jungle animal,
Right.
Like holding that thing was so odd.
Am I mistaken that you shared a picture of young Zippy recently on social media, or am I imagining that? Because
no, I share. I put that up all the time.
Oh yeah, little Zip.
Yeah.
Yes. People think they're cute and cuddly, but they can be like really aggressive and strong and.
It's a jungle. It's like people that have lions for pets, and then all of a sudden one day the lion turns on them. It's not the lion's fault. He's a jungle animal,
Right,
They're wild animals.
Yeah.
I went on safari on horseback once in South Africa.
Wow.
The one thing that I noticed is that all those animals, every prey animal that's walking the savannah, they all walk together. Like the zebras and all the different deer and antelope and the gnus and the elephants, and then they take turns in the water. It's not a Disney movie. The warthogs are running around, the grass is moving.
Wow.
Like the animals all work together, tell each other where the lions are. You can tell they're like, oh, he's over there. Anyway, they all work together.
Let me see.
It's a jungle out there.
I got bit by a lion when I was 13.
Let's see if we can share. Yeah, there you go. Look at Jackie with his muscular and little Zip with overalls on. Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow, that's Zippy, baby Zippy.
He
That's
was famous.
That's not Jackie when he was a young, sprawling gymnast for Michigan State University. Anyway,
Cute.
Yeah. Now, wait. What am
Nice
I doing?
tape
How do I
I'm
get
the
rid of
one
this?
on the left.
Yes. The long.
You were the one on the left. Good to
Yeah.
know.
Susan, have you ever dialed 516-922-WINE?
Nope.
You should call that today. Call that line today. I think Zippy's answering it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, I'll put it in
Still
my
going.
phone right now.
It's right there, scrolling across the bottom. You can copy it down. 516-922-WINE. I don't think it's a toll-free number, but whatever. It won't cost you like
it doesn't have to be toll-free because on cell phones, there's no such thing as a long-distance call in the U.S. anyway.
That's wonderful. And I don't think
we'll see.
There's such a thing as long distance anymore. Is that a thing? People don't pay long distance.
Well, there's still international lines. I know, but I know when my wife was traveling abroad, I called her phone with her regular phone, and I got through, but I didn't. But when I talk to my friends that live abroad, I don't have to, but I use Facebook Messenger, FaceTime and stuff like that.
Bottle of wine.
It was it was a godsend in the 80s because phone calls were so expensive. When you went on the road, there was no way you could call home and check in. Nowadays, a comic on the road, your girlfriend could call you every 5 minutes, and I'm sure nobody can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Well, but even when cell phones first started, we were being charged by the minutes, and a lot of times we'd wait till after 5 o'clock to return calls because that's when the rates went down.
Yeah, my dad was a truck driver. We didn't hear from him for weeks sometimes because he.
1976, a guy taught us how to rig. There was something you could do to bypass long distance charges, and we called somebody. We had a number from somebody in Australia, and the phone company cracked down on us, and they said, "You owe us." I think we were on the phone for 8 minutes or something, and they said you owe us $13,000 for that phone call to Australia. Now you can call Australia and have somebody face to face on something like this for 2 hours and not get charged a penny for it. But in those days, literally
that really is mind-boggling. I don't ever use that FaceTime stuff, but God, that's just mind-boggling.
Doesn't it remind you of the Jetsons? Do you remember the Jetsons?
Yeah, well, when we were kids, Dick Tracy used to talking to his watch. Wow, that's insane. He was just saying hello,
Yeah.
And Get Smart, he talked into his shoe, remember?
Yeah. We're getting ready to wrap this stuff up here today because
I need to bail.
Show's almost over.
Well, I'm glad I was able to make your show the 1,000th show. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
hopefully,
you.
Susan, very nice to meet you, Susan.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
Bridget the midget, whatever the horse is called, is well.
Pickles, Daisy. There's a whole bunch
Bobby,
of
it's a cool place.
Yeah.
Daisy, what's the name of your website? What's the name of her website?
Hold on, I'll put it.
Sanctuary.org.
Let me put it. I got it right here. DaisyChainSanctuary.org is in the description here, and it's going across on the banner there. Go see Susan's website. Susan, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
So
Do come back again in the next 1,000 episodes. If we even in the next 100 would be very cool to see you again.
Awesome.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Take it easy.
All right. DaisyChainSanctuary.org. Go find out about the little mini horse. I'd love to have a mini horse. My wife would definitely. She's like, what is that? One of the Disney characters that all the fucking animals come to. That she's got birds eating out of her hands and stuff. And the chickens come running when she pulls into the driveway. Chickens come running from every direction, like.
No, are these your chickens or are they wild chickens?
No, they belong to somebody in the neighborhood and different people in the neighborhood, but they come to my yard and they love her, and they don't just come for the food because sometimes the food's out there, and they just want to socialize. They just want to talk. Like, walk, 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 walk.
Do they lay eggs? They leave you eggs?
Oh yeah, that's one of the benefits of having chickens. Is some of the people just who own the chickens come by and they just leave eggs here, like in a carton.
But Matt won't eat them because they're too fresh.
I did last week. I had 4 brown eggs. But they were very good, I have to say.
Did you eat them with spinach? Because they're even better with spinach.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't do this.
Oh, well.
I know.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
hop off, you guys. I just want to pop in and say
Thanks,
hi.
thanks for hopping in.
Hi, man. Nice
Good
to meet
see
you.
you.
Hey, John, get
yeah,
me a gig out there. I want to come back. Get me a gig somewhere, Grand Rapids, somewhere.
Yeah,
something.
on a day when I can follow him out there and go to see his gig out there and hang out with you. Do that.
One more thing. Sorry, Jackie. Have you listened to Swan's segment on the podcast where she does your jokes badly?
No, I'd love to.
Yeah,
but he's going to be speaking to his lawyers.
Yeah, no, I'll have to send you a sound clip. But at the end of the last 3 or 4 podcasts, we have a new segment where Swan just does jokes badly.
Wow,
it's very funny because it's so bad.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
she's
a beautiful woman, so she can do anything she wants.
Oh,
right.
I did not know that. Well, thanks for being here, John. Go save somebody's life and take care of people. I don't know if you know this. John is a nurse practitioner who literally saves people's lives.
A real job. It's impressive.
Yeah, a real a job that actually helps people. Unlike
and a very nice man with a very nice wife, and they were so good to me. I can't believe it. It was great.
Yeah. Now,
they
just
took
briefly
me to the zoo
on his
like I was a kid.
On his wife doing your jokes, your jokes. What baffles me is that I've seen you a couple of times, and you do an hour and a half, and they're very short jokes. Like they're not necessarily one-liners, but they're very short jokes, and they will go through a whole 90-minute stretch of doing jokes, and then the next time I see you, you don't do any of the same jokes again. Like how many jokes are really in your repertoire?
That's a myth, because what happens? Somebody comes to see me. And sometimes they come back again the next night or the next week, wherever they come, or they come to the next show. And it's so close to the exact same show. But what happens is you're watching a joke and you laugh at it and you miss the next one or the next 2. And then you listen and laugh at that one. And then you get out of sync. So they think they're hearing all new different jokes, but they're hearing the same act. You know, I'm doing basically the same jokes for years and years, I mean, I can go off script and do any jokes I want, but and people think, wow, what'd you do? 600 jokes, 800 jokes, and it's more like 100, or 110 maybe, Wow, but it's an illusion because it goes so fast, and people get frustrated because they can't remember. They come up and say, I watched you for an hour and I can't remember one joke. I said, that's because you're so busy listening to the next one. It's interesting. It's fun. I like it.
I tell people that, well, at least my theory, and one of my theories about comedy is that when people come to see a show, especially if it's a lengthy show, like they watch you for an hour or so, they watch somebody for an hour, they don't remember that whole hour. Nobody remembers that whole hour. So they just take the parts that they relate to at that time. So, if Jackie's like talking about, I don't know, let's say a man left his wife for another woman. Well, that may trigger somebody and they'll remember that joke. But the next night they're not thinking about that. So then they hear another joke about their pet, so their dog or their cat or something. And that's what they relate to that night, the same person. It's just a different mindset. Nobody remembers the entire set.
Yeah.
But they just
now see, Napo, what did I tell you? Napo, I told you that GD has absolutely no fucking idea what he's talking about. Remember I told you that?
Yes.
I don't remember my own stuff, so let alone someone else's.
I'm doing my plugs now. I'm going to be at Soul Joel's in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, on Pottstown, in November 8th, Saturday night, November 8th, with my friend Rich Harkaway. We always do great business there. It's always fun. And then November 14th, I'm at Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club in Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
Nice.
Where I've been working for 30 years, I guess. And then the 29th, I think that's Thanksgiving weekend. Saturday night, November 29th, I'm at the Hyatt Princeton, Catch a Rising Star. And that's always fun too. I love it.
There isn't a brokerage. I thought there was a brokerage date coming up. I could have sworn there was.
I just did the brokerage. I did the brokerage 2 weeks ago.
I missed it. Oh, I
3
had a
weeks
gig
ago.
that night. That's right. I fucking had a
Yeah,
gig.
you told me that.
Yeah,
those are always great. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna book MacArthur's. What's it called?
McGuire's.
McGuire's. I'm gonna book McGuire's very soon. So I'll come on here and plug it.
A couple of days ago, about a week ago, Rhonda Hanson was on the show, and there was somebody in the audience under the Stand Up Memories Monica, and I was like, who is this? Is it Peter? Is Jackie? Whoever? Probably was Zen. I think he's using that as like cover because me and him have some feud. I don't know. It's not a feud. But it wasn't you, right? Stand Up Memories in the chat room talking to Rhonda.
No, they identified themselves. It wasn't Jackie. They actually said who it was.
They did say who it was?
Yeah.
Oh.
They just said this is so and so, like Chris, or this is whatever it was, whatever name it was.
Chris?
I don't know, whatever name it was. They said this is so and so.
Are you still doing Stand Up Memories? Are you still doing that?
Yeah, we're doing it tonight.
We
moved to Strong Island Studios, Paradise Studios.
Oh, in Massapequa?
Yeah.
On Montauk Highway. Wow, that's a beautiful studio over there.
We're having great fun. Tonight we got Ed Huther. You know Ed?
No.
Right, the movie maker?
No.
You don't know Ed Huther? And I met him making a movie, and he just finished the movie. They finished filming it. I play his father, and we did a bunch of scenes here at my house. And he's a great guy, and also Bales' partner in stand-up university. Rich Miller's on the show. Rich Miller.
Did you just say Rich Miller? Rich Walker?
No, Rich Walker.
Because
how generic can it be? He's a great guy. Very funny.
Funny though. People say Walker because Tony Walker. Tony Walker, who you say invented podcasting. GD refers to him as Tony Miller often, and you just referred to Rich Walker as.
But there's a Rich Walker somewhere.
There is Rich Walker, is Peter Bale's partner. It's and he's a local comedian.
I mean, there's a Rich Miller somewhere.
Rich Miller, yeah, of course there is. It's a very popular name. Anyway,
I think that was that. Actually, matter of fact, I think that was Dennis Miller's brother, who was a booking agent for a long. All right, whoever cares, standupmemories.com. It's a great podcast. We have great fun.
Now it's not live tonight, right? Or you record it.
I don't understand. I think it goes out live on YouTube at 9:00, and then we tape one at 10:00 that doesn't air for a while. But the one that goes out live tonight gets aired officially on Wednesday. I'm still trying. I don't pay attention. I just go in there and talk. I don't give a shit.
Hello, Becky. Thank you for joining us. Follow Jackie. He was just in your neighborhood this weekend at Muggs. I don't know if you had a chance to go check him out there, but follow Jackie. Write him a letter at Jokeland. Write him an email at Jokeland.
I'm going to send him an email.
Yes.
Yeah, Jokeland at AOL.com.
It's time to wrap this up. Yeah, we're getting off the air. Thank you, Jackie, for being here. It's always a pleasure.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, man. I'll email you.
I want to come to England.
Right.
GD, behave yourself. And,
I'm going to Ireland. Well, I want to go to Ireland. Now, this is not for you because you don't drink anymore. But there's the oldest bar in the world is in Ireland, and I want to go there with Carl because that's our thing.
I want to go there just to go there. You know where I got drunk once was the Blacksmith Bar. Did you ever hear that in New Orleans?
Yeah.
It was owned by Jean Lafitte.
Yeah.
He had a bar so he could keep his loot downstairs.
Right.
And it really, I bet you anything it still exists. It existed 30 years ago.
I love that, like historical old pubs and stuff like that, and that's why I want to go to Ireland. Sean,
when we were broadcasting from Abbey Road, when we were on break, me and Fred would leave Abbey Road and go around the corner to the pub. And I'm sure the Beatles used to drink there. They didn't have signs that said the Beatles drank here, but I'm sure they did. It's the pub around the corner. Who's not going to
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for being here, Jackie. Have a great day, and hopefully You know, my friend Phil, that guy who came up he asked you like a question about the Howard Stern show. That was after you were on the thing. He wants to come meet you and see your little harvest there. He's been busting my balls.
Anytime.
All right.
Anytime.
Thank you for being part of the show, and have a great
All
day.
right. Happy 1,000.
All right.
Take it easy, boys. Happy 1,000.
Bye.
See you.
Oh.
See you, Jackie.
Bye for now. Carl, you out? Yeah. All right. Well, enjoy your donuts.
No donuts today. I just might shit myself.
All right. It's just me and GD now. And we're going to say goodbye here. Going to wrap this up. Thank you for everybody for being part of the 1,000th. Like, I didn't know what to do to make it any more special than it was. But if Jackie's not enough for you, screw you. I think Jackie's enough for me. Isn't he enough for you, GD? No, you want more? You want more? Why? Is it because he said you really don't know what you're talking about? He's accurate about that. I learn that every day.
Well, I never claimed I know what I'm talking about. I just like talking what I'm talking about.
I was clearly. Anyway, I don't even know who we have. I know Chaz Sampson is on later this week. You know what? Just tune in and find out.
Yeah, it's funny, that joke that he told about the Vaseline and the motorcycle. He's told it 3 times, and every time I laugh my ass off when he gets to the part.
That's one of my.
I do the dishes, and I know it's coming. I know it's coming, and I laugh every single time.
It's one of the best jokes in it. And listen, he's got a lot of jokes like that, but it's one of my favorite jokes that he tells, which is why I insisted that asked him.
I laugh every single time I hear that joke, and I guess it's kind of like there's a movie I like to watch. It's called The Other Guys, and I don't even like Will Ferrell. I do not like Will Ferrell, but I like this movie. Will Ferrell and Mark, the guy that used to be one Marky Mark Boys or something. I can't remember his last name. Mark something. The Rock is in it. Samuel L. Jackson's in it.
Motherfucker.
No. And I love to watch that movie. I've seen it like a dozen times or so, and I still laugh and watch it. Thank you, Wahlberg. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I love that movie. But even though I don't like Will Ferrell, can't stand watching him. Can't
really.
But I like him in that movie.
I think he's a nice enough guy. Will Ferrell.
I'm not saying he's not nice enough. I just don't like watching his movies.
All right. The Step Brother. What is Blood Brother?
Never seen it. Never seen it. By the time that came out, I'd already had 2.
John C. Reilly is great too. I mean, that was a good movie. See, I think you're denying yourself a great pleasure there, but that's whatever. It's your thing.
People say the same thing about me.
About me? They would never say the same thing about me.
No.
All right. No. So I don't know who's going to be on the rest of the week. I'm hopefully to get my congressman, Nick LaLota, on, because I'm going to run against him. I decided yesterday I'm going to run, not this election day is in like 2 weeks now. There's no congressional here. But next year next November, if there is an election, I'm running for Congress again, and I'm going to run against Nick LaLota. I'm going to ask him to be on the program and kind of have a little yelling match at him.
Now, do you have to live in a district where you run?
Huh?
Do you have to live in a district where
No,
you run?
last time I ran in Jackie's district, which I don't live in. This time I'm going to run in my district. I decided the reason I ran last time in Jackie's district is because the congressman in Jackie's district was George Santos.
Right.
He got his sentence commuted. And I figured that's an easy guy to beat, a guy who's going to prison anyway. Right. But then Tom Dewey, no, whatever. I can't remember Tom's last name. He's the congressman, and he was going to be. He had the seat before George Santos. He was going to be hard to beat anyway. So I ended up getting 1 vote. I think it was Jackie's. I didn't ask him about that. I should ask him. Prove that you're the guy who voted for me. Anyway, I'm going to run against him next year, and I'm going to have him
Carl,
on.
just so you know, Matt does not raise any money for his campaign. He does not raise money for his campaigins.
That's true.
At least he did. That's what it was last time. This time.
Why is he donating? Somebody
he just says, "How much cash do you need to raise?"
None. I run a moneyless, which is why I only got 1 vote.
I may do the same thing. We may be both of us running next time.
All right.
I'm not gonna run in my district where I am. It'd be the next one over because I really, really, really do. And the thing is, it's a district that was drawn so that the Republican will win. You know, it's one of those give me districts.
Yeah.
You know, Maryland says, okay, we'll give up one district. It's a safe district, and so he doesn't have to campaign. All he does is support Trump and lie. That's all he does.
It might be moot anyway. There might not be a midterm election. I know what you're going to say. There is, right? There will be.
Well, I don't think. Well, again, elections are on the state level. So even if Trump says I'm going to cancel the presidential election, that's not going to stop the congressional. You know, the state's still going to can do those.
Well, if he just declares it a dictatorship, and who's to stop him? That's the point. There's nobody. What are you going to do? March with signs? Oh, your little signs! I'll drop shit on you from a plane. That's what will happen. Anyway, so I'm running for and it would be good.
I meant to ask Ann if she saw any of the missiles being dropped across her neighborhood.
Right? Yeah.
But she's not there now. She's already gone to watch Tony.
You've already gone to watch Tony. Anyway, so yeah, come back tomorrow and see us struggle to get through 2.5 hours tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you all. Have a great day. And don't forget to turn on your radio. Bye for now.
I me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me.